Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram and most other social medias. And this is episode 802.65. That's me in the background. Hopefully you guys have had a great day. I, myself, am terribly behind today, so please forgive me for the few minutes of being late and probably sitting somewhat in the background tonight. Cheers, CJ Apple. I am going to make it to the Hash Bash tomorrow and Saturday. Hopefully I will see you there. Southern BT Grower, J5020 LP2372. Crack baby is DWC. How you doing? Butts are funny. Buddy Kilowatts. Cheers to you guys. I need to get this chat popped out. There we go. Please make sure your chairs are upright and your chat is set to top chat, please. Buckle in for this ride. It should be a good one. How you guys doing? Ganja Ghost. Cass. Hi, Cass. It's been a minute. How you been? Hopefully well. W Digger 714. Cheers to you. Trying to answer. It's just been a fuck of a day. Running behind all day. That's all right, though. Random Family Firearms, cheers to you. Who else did I miss? Butts are funny. If I missed you, cheers to you. Of course, Brett Anderson. What up, my friend? How are you today? I'm still settling in. Detroit River Rat. I can't wait to hang out with you. I will be there tomorrow late. And probably hang out most of Saturday. Looking forward to hanging out with Detroit River Rat. Always a fun dude to hang out with. That dude could smoke. Smiley's Gardens, cheers to you. How you doing, my friend? Always a pleasure and an honor to see you. Still, my stage is not set here. I'm trying like a motherfucker. I think I at least think I'm caught up with chat. It makes me feel slightly good. I get a little bit of cream on this arm, and I believe I'll be ready to puff down. Jack Greenstock in the house. Cheers to you. How y'all doing? What you guys smoking on? That's the important question. This is a smoking gathering, and you hopefully brought some, right? If not, I'm sure somebody will probably share if you're close enough to reach. But if not, you may be screwed. Hold on, Mr. Smiley. Let me rub this in real quick. I'll let you in. I got that little spot back there I got to fill. Who's got the herb when I'm dry? Being dry sucks. And hopefully if you are dry, like I was stating there, you do have a friend with some cannabis that can share, hopefully. Most cannabis consumers, growers, all that, just like to smoke with people. It's just a fact. All right, ready to let old Mr. Smiley in. Can of Happiness, how are you? Newfly? How you doing? I'm sorry, I just butchered your name, my friend. Chiba Man, Shredder 911, Matt Ness. Let's see, I gotta find something to listen to Smiley in. I don't know. What's up, Alex? What's up, Mr. Smiley? I can't hear you. There we go. How you doing? I'm gonna have to put the headphones on for a few anyway. What up, my friend? There we go. I can hear you for the third time.
My girl just spilled her drink.
All right.
Yeah, she did some ninja shit catching it, but it spilled a little.
You don't have a wet lap now, do you?
No, she was, Spidey sense. She was all on it.
Nice. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah.
Nice. I am like way past due to smoke. I mean, like way past due. Today has just been one of those like I woke up behind days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Those are always fun.
I wish I could agree, but it's been like one of those things like just when you think, you're making some headway, you kind of like look around and you're like, oh, fuck, that ain't done either. Shit, I ain't getting nowhere.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you smoking on tonight?
Just to go by quick. This one's called Mr. Clean, I think.
I've heard of it. I know for Growly had the Mr. Clean extracts at one time. So is that new to the garden, or is that something unfortunately you had to outsource?
That's outsourced. Yeah.
It happens. I
was showing the empty jars the other day. So. Yeah.
What up, Major?
What's up, Weeds?
What up?
Fuck Smiley. That GG4 with the jack, man. I'm telling you, that's a flamer. She's flaming downstairs, man.
Yeah.
She's a flamer. I don't know if that's the best description.
It came out the way you thought it was.
She's fire. I'm trying to bring back new context there, though. No, she's a flamer, man. She's gonna be fire. Beautiful structure on it, man.
She's gonna be the bomb, Major.
I call that one like Amazon or some shit. Amazon chick.
Is that what you want to call it?
Jill and a gorilla, man. I don't know. Amazon woman.
Jill Gore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of love the way you said it there. Jill and the gorilla just kind of sounded right. You know what I mean? It sounded like, remember BJ and the Bear? Like it could have been a spinoff from that, Jill and the gorilla. What happened to BJ and the Bear?
I like it. It could go. I was thinking of calling it Lucy, but I don't think anybody would understand the context of it.
Like from the old movie type of shit?
Or are you referring to a loose cigarette?
What is it, Australopithecus or whatever, one of the quote unquote missing links of human evolution.
You guys are flying in tonight.
All right. You guys hear me?
Rock babies.
Major, Smiley, Eagle.
Good, sir. How you doing today? What are you smoking on, Craig Babies?
I haven't decided yet. Cherry Sherbert. A good one. Is my mic crapping out there? It's telling me weird things.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Pretty good for Canada, though.
I don't think it's country related, but all right.
Damn straight it is.
I think it's China.
That's the primo, most expensive internet there is around, man. We got the most expensive internet there is in all of the developed nations.
They're milking us good.
Yeah, milk it.
I was gonna say, if you're our president, Biden, you just any of them see countries, China, Canada, whatever. It's just
it's all the same.
One of them see countries. I don't know.
You seen that, did you?
Yeah, it's a little funny.
Right? It is.
Not.
Because, I don't know. I remember my grandpa mixing words up and shit like that, and saying, you know what I mean, saying shit that he didn't mean or whatever.
No, exactly. He's getting old, man. Like,
Yeah, the dude's like 82 or something.
to be expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still kind of funny how they don't let him like. Well, he's definitely less on the screens up here versus Trump, I suppose. Before, like you heard all the Trump shit up here, you never hear Biden have those speeches or anything, unless then he fucks up, and then they'll make a little speech about it for one day, and that's it. Move on, next story.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even watch the news anymore.
Yeah,
I watch the
try
news
not.
about the news. Indirectly.
And that's when
usually
you know it's important. When the news is reporting on the news, you definitely have missed something. That's the stuff you take note of. Not a bad plan. I follow along pretty closely that I don't really indulge in the news a lot myself either.
It's depressing.
I try to watch the first 10 minutes of the bullshit till they go off some Richter scale and like, I don't know, just try to, I don't know, just off kilter, and it's just, I don't know.
Nah,
I guess that's why people don't watch it, right? It's like just insignificant stories about some business. It's almost like part advertising and part a weird agenda. You're not quite sure what they're trying to spin on you.
Well, that's the thing. It's they're showing you what they want you to see.
Yeah. And usually it's some kind
That's
of
the best way I could put it.
feel good story.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. It's most of it's not feel good. Yeah, it's always negative. It's like, where's the good stuff? Where's the happy stuff? Yeah. It's always
They're trying to make you feel how lucky you are, right? Well, look at how these stories didn't affect you. Aren't you lucky? Yeah, you're right.
The world around you sucks, but you're okay.
But I'm good. I'm great.
Yeah, I guess that's all right.
As I was just pointing out in chat there, the new early editions of the Weed Nerd World are now Mondays at 9 and Thursdays at 9. So there's going to be
Mondays,
two early ones.
Ooh.
I know,
like
right?
Taking over.
Monday.
Slowly but surely.
Monday.
Every night at 9.
What else is on Monday? Monday at 9. This is at 9. Medical Mondays?
Yeah.
There isn't anything else on Mondays.
Thank you,
Smiley. God damn right.
It was dead days. You know what I mean? Mondays and Thursdays, it was like recently.
Well, I guess the late sessions I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that's at 11 there. Well, it was the Thursdays, and I'm kind of digging the little bit of the early episode too. I just kind of flip flop the gym time and do this instead of that, and you know what I mean. But it gives a chance for some people that doesn't normally get to participate, or people to watch that don't usually get to catch the lives. So fuck it, I threw it
early
out.
Morning East Coaster. I mean, so it's like it's hard.
I threw it out the other night. I'm like, well, what do you guys, if they're, we thought about another early day. What day you guys thinking? And they kind of threw out Monday and Tuesday there. And I don't know, Monday just sounded more right than Tuesday. I don't know why, but so we went with Monday and Thursdays now.
Well, that's a good pick.
Because it's Taco Tuesdays, man. Taco Tuesdays is our taken. Don't fuck with Tuesday.
Can't be here smoking weed when you're supposed to be getting tacos, man.
Yeah, so intermix, man.
Maybe if we went super early in the day and you could get high and then go get your tacos.
There you go.
Then the taco place would love us. It'd probably sell twice as many tacos.
Yeah. Guys.
I need to roll one up. I'm talking too much already. As I said when I started this thing, already fucking behind. No joints, no nothing ready.
It's like the food trucks selling out every time at the cannabis events.
Yeah. How do you not know you're going to not be the biggest draw there at a smoking event like that? Them fucking trucks smell good, man. Talk about, I mean, there's no such thing as roach coach there, man. There's some really good pizza. Pizza, that's one of my favorites at them events. That would cook pizza. Oh man, it's just too many to even start the list. It's all good.
Yeah, there's usually some like, what do you call them, homemade type taco stands and stuff like that too. But the wood fire pizza always gets me. You can smell that thing from a fucking ways away. It's like, oh, it smells so good.
You like pineapple on your pizza, Smiley?
I'll put up with it. It's not really something I ordered.
Anchovies.
Just ham.
Anchovy type of guy, are you?
But you know, I don't know. Ham and pineapple goes good together, but if there's anything else, I don't know.
Damn, crack babies. That looks like you got something packed up on the right side. What is that, man? Is that fancy canatrol thing?
Yeah, I did a partial harvester. Well, partial. I did the hippie goggles, the whole plant.
And it filled that whole thing? Holy
Yeah, look at that.
No. Just the middle two shelves there. I don't know if you could see it there, but I got it kind of bracketed there. So at the bottom, I had a bit of Amy Aces there. At the very bottom of the shelf that you can't see in the front.
The low yielding crappy one.
Well, I just took. It's because it looked like it was
Shots
really.
fired, Tao.
It looked like it was the earliest one. Like it didn't look ready. You know what I mean? Compared to the others. So I just took a branch off each. I took the main off the big one and just a big branch off the other one. So I just have like a 3/4 of a shelf of Amy in there, but enough to try it because I wanted to try different harvest times. I figured, instead of taking a plant and then waiting for another plant, I'll take a bit of everything and then a bit at the end, everything again, right? Just different stages. And they're all done in the canatrol, so it would all be even. So then I can try like, okay, at 9 weeks, at 8 weeks, what's the difference in taste and blah, blah, blah. So, because I had to split it anyways, I had too much. It didn't fit. So that's like, so if you look at the picture there in the middle, it's hippie goggles is the two shells in the middle. So they were the heaviest stacked shells. And then the bottom one is Amy with a bit of Sky Stomper. The second shelf is all Sky Stomper. And that's maybe 2 branches off it. And then the top 2 shelves are Sundial. That's 3 branches. And man, I still got, well, you see what's hanging there. What's in the pictures on the left is what's left.
Damn. You don't need a couple more. You ought to get a couple more of those canatrols then, man.
Well, I'm going to have to hang them. So the trick with those, with canatrol is that, because when it's wet, it's super big, like it's huge. And when you dry it, it's, so day 1 and 2, you can like almost half the size of it. Then you can fit twice as much in there and cure the rest, right? So I'm going to hang those for 2 days, get it as small as I can, trim it all up, and then slap it in there. And that should all fit in one shot. We'll see.
Can you juggle around, say, after the stuff in the canatrol shrinks up a bit, kind of maybe tighten up the trays a little bit and make room for new, or is that not?
Oh, I just
not
take it out. So once the 8 days is done, I can sea vault it without having to burp it. So I'm just gonna store it all in jars and sea vaults, and then reload the whole thing with brand new stuff. So every 8 days, basically, I can empty it and then reload it and then re-dry a new batch. I don't hold it in
8 days. 8 days. Now we all know it takes 14 days at 60/60, blah blah blah.
You can program it to do that.
Have you learned nothing from the fucking My Herbs Now machine fucking videos, Major? Jeez.
Well,
96 hours it can be done in fucking perfectly.
I've done it in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
they do it in 4 days to dry, but then they cure 4 days too, just so that when you jar it, you don't have to burp it. Basically, it's dry. You could smoke it on day 8, but it tastes green. You know what I mean? It still needs to break down, still needs to go through that process there, break down the chlorophyll. So the 3 weeks still applies no matter what from shot. It's just a matter of how good they're going to be by then. And they really nailed it.
And did it in hours, so fuck off.
I put mine in the
cryo
oven,
cure, right?
and it was done in 5 minutes.
Right?
Cryo cure, we're saying 24 hours, man, and you're ready to smoke it. It's like, I don't think so. It may be dry, but it's not ready.
Big jar
looking all fresh and clean. What's up with that? Cheers, buddy.
Shit's just getting so long, it's just got to be pulled back all the time now. So, what are you guys doing?
Waiting for you to show
Okay.
up so we can smoke.
Perfect time.
Last one till harvest, Saturday,
Ooh. Special one.
which will be 2 skunk bows, 1 count crippy, and 1 sky high V2.
Sky High V2. What's that one? That one sounds good.
Ask Smiley, he'll tell you. I don't remember.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
It's his.
High Mac and Sky Cuddler.
Is that
I got
what
some
it was?
Sky too.
Was that the high Mac to the cuddler?
Well, I got the Sky Stomper.
You muted my Smiley.
Yeah. Hi, Mac.
The high Mac. Okay.
Yeah, the V1 was the high Mac male to the Sky Stomper, and then the V2 is the Sky Cuddler. Sorry, Sky Cuddler male to the high Mac.
Big Jar, what's your YouTube? I'm trying. I got you, Big Jar or Big underscore Jar.
It's gross.
And then it is the underscore grows.
I think so. I'm not sure. I'd have to actually look. I haven't posted anything in so long.
YouTube usually pulls that shit up, but it's not pulling your shit up for some reason. But
Yeah,
I'm manually overriding here, so I
That's
just
fine.
wanted to get it as close as possible.
Dude, for some reason, like Smiley's Angels on Instagram, like if I'm trying to tag some, like that, and
Oh,
like
it's crazy, eh?
It is impossible to
type
do
the
it.
whole thing out, and then it's still like 6 people down. Like, what the fuck?
Me there,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
learned the
it's-
trick now. I just scroll to the very end. You're the last one every time. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing? Your Smiley's Garden, first one. Smiley's Angels, the last. No matter what you type, until you get to the last letter, it's the last one. I don't know why the hell they do that.
So
Doesn't that mean that's when you're shadow banned or whatever?
They do that
Usually,
for
if you
Coco
have
for
to
type
type it all
everything
the
up.
way in, yeah,
It's crazy,
that's a good
man.
sign. It's a good sign, Big Jar.
Too much fire on that page.
do I got to do something then? I don't even.
There's nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do about the fucking being banned. The only thing you can do is a lot of times, if you're using hashtags, stop using hashtags. That will help 100%. Other than that, man, it's just a matter of time of actually, like the people that do follow you, and I would X the hashtags, and then I would ask the people that are looking at your content to comment on top of your post, which it helps get you back into the algorithm kind of thing, get you back rolling there. But
I
it's a
think you
bitch.
can go to your account on Instagram and look and see if like you have like any what they call infractions. And sometimes it might be if you delete this picture, they'll take care of that or something like that. So we all show plants on our page, so it's probably just every plant that you show on the page.
Is that really? They don't flag my. I mean, Smiley's Garden one has more than that. Like,
Well, see, it
I
could
don't
be
know. It's
something
weird.
like the same hashtag you're using, one of them that you're using, could somebody else could be using as well, and they could be like, "Oh yeah, fuck that! No, 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 we're not associated with weed," and it could be like that, and that they're
trigger,
complaining
yeah,
on it.
yeah.
That's it. Of course, we never know. Instagram's a fucking elusive beast. Everybody keeps getting taken down, put back up. All we can do is keep trying.
That's it.
Algorithm hell.
You can join the burner, wherever the fuck the social scene is, whatever the fuck that was called.
The Hooker Network over there in Social Club. I when Social Network first came out, that's what it was. I signed up, claimed my name, and that's all it was fucking ladies, fucking, hey, fucking. I'm like, oh, fuck all this. I didn't realize. I thought this was for weed, and I fucking quit using it. And then it kind of revived a little bit. And I thought, all right, yeah, maybe they took care of the bugs. And I got right back on there. And the first thing I got was some fucking horror fucking, hey. And I'm like, this is the same fucking thing.
I might be joining this. This sounds awesome.
Oh, that's the
They're
craziest
just like,
part.
wait,
Is
there's
like,
horse on there?
yeah,
Might be worth
that's the
my
stupid
time.
crazy part.
Horse and
You jump on,
horse and autos, man. Got me.
you know, you're jumping on and looking and scrolling. You know, they're tagging and everything's getting flagged for having pots showing on there, but chicks with their tits and asses hanging out all day. You can scroll through that all fucking day.
All day. That's a beautiful
You,
day.
It's a beautiful day, he said. Almost went blind.
Now, what's that one you showing there, Weed Nerd? All closed up.
Oh, that's Amy Aces. I recognize the clusters now. But yeah, I got a few of them there.
That's not when you took it though, right? That's just
No, that's
a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I think. 3 weeks, 2 weeks. 3 weeks ago.
Cool, man. Almost like a funny
Whoops.
growth pattern going on there, right? Knuckled out.
Yeah, it's like a cluster of like they're all kind of spiky, but she's got more of that pineapple look. Like now, like you could see it in the I guess it's the top picture, but it's more to the right and the left. And the back is the Sky Stomper, but the Amy's kind of below the bar. You know what I mean? So you see all the spikes there, so it's kind of pineapple-y like that. But it just stayed in there. So that's the hippie goggles. And you see the curl on the leaves there. They were very similar, Sky Stomper and hippie goggles. But the Sky, man, that's the triple node one. I had a triple node branch. So each node had three shoots, 3 leaves.
Cool. And it kept it? Even the clump kept
Yeah,
it?
right up to this, like, so there's the top cola, and then there was one set of doubles, and then they were 3, 3, 3.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's nice.
That's the Amy. That's the Hippie G. And that's the Sky Stalker.
Ooh, that one looks good.
It's
Those look nice, man.
that terps everywhere, man. It's got
How did that cloud one work
Yeah,
for you?
beautiful.
it's orangey gas there. But it's really like a very
Oh
very
shit!
Shh,
traggy.
don't talk about Amy. Don't talk about Amy.
You fired shots, Major. Now here he is.
Shit.
Come back.
All
No,
I can
Amy's
say.
looking
You're
real.
talking
Fuck the
about
rock.
his girl. You're talking about his girl, and the pimp shows up.
What's up, Tom?
We'll get Amy back
What's up,
on
Tom?
screen. Cheers, Dow.
What's up, everybody? Yeah,
Oh, my.
Weed Nerd, you got it backwards.
There we go.
Amy should be on the top shelf.
Well, they're both the same height now. They were because they're so short, man. Like they don't stretch. I love it. They're great plants, man. They don't, you don't have to train them too much. They're not going nowhere. Yeah. Well, at least not
Yeah.
much.
They take up half the space and weigh twice as much.
Yeah.
Bam, that's
That's a
my
good plan.
style.
But those
a
Sky
good
Stompers, man, they're reaching for the sky there. Like, holy shit. But not that much spacing. If you look at it there, those nugs are going to fill in pretty nice.
Dude, those look
I
like
like-
baseball bats, dude.
Yeah, man, I like the spacing. I like a bit of space so that, they don't rot.
Shit,
You want
I'm
to see a
getting
little
into the-
branch. Yeah.
I'm gonna go visit Smiley Angels and then do the rename game.
But yeah, man, they're nice.
Sky Amy.
Sky Amy.
Hippie Amy. You don't need to name it all.
No.
Smiley's
It's
Angels.
even better.
No, it was
proprietary
Amy's
number
Stomper.
2.
Amy's Angels
Amy's
or
Angels.
Smiley's Aces. It may happen. It may happen. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure I got everything there because I got a few little sacks here on Sky Stopper, but I got it early and it was just on the lowers. And I think it's because I was pushing her, man. And I flipped her 24 days from seed drop, from it wet. You know what I mean? So they popped out 3 days after. So that's really 21-day flip. So I thought maybe that's a little stressful. Plus, I'm on DWC. I'm pushing them 1500 EC and veg, 900 U-mols, 800 U-mols. They're really getting pushed. So I figured, maybe that's the cause, And so far, so good. Nothing's come out since I picked all that shit off, and it's just on the lowers. So far, so good. I think it was just one of those stress herms where it's,
I had one of those blue light pucks. from Rapid LED. Left that on for 24 hours for the first 2 weeks of flower.
All right.
Yeah, I got a couple of fucked up looking plants. But his
It'll
Count
grow on
Crippy,
anything, man.
his Count Crippy didn't even fucking give a shit. I think actually she loved it and just fucking exploded.
Nice.
But the Sky Stomper, yeah, she re-vegged halfway through.
Whoa.
But the colas on it are like as big around as a baseball now. So I'm not complaining a whole lot. So then one of the skunk bows did the same thing, but the other one didn't seem to bother it.
Well, Alex Hardy showed up about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, and he was talking about the re-veg and how that could be a part of the whole hash game, where you know how you get that go in the flower and it hits a weird re-veg and it'll get all those shoots coming out and it'll be fluffy bud, right? It'll never seem to harden up no matter what you do, and that could be, you know, advantageous for the hash growers.
Yeah,
Mine
open
didn't look
structure.
different when I re-vegged. But it depends. I guess it depends when you do it. Like if you're on the full plant, that'll definitely make it a lot different than taking a nug and re-vegging the nug.
Full re-veg. It was 2 weeks of blue light during the 12-hour off period.
Oh boy.
And I just turned that off and said, okay, I'm just gases on and we're going, because I didn't have time to wait. So
yeah,
said fuck it and we'll see what happens, and ran with it. Didn't get any herms or anything. So
because I didn't really see a difference. Like I ran a plant, but it hermed, so I killed it, but then I kept a clone of it and I
just
grew it
see.
out, and that didn't work out, but I had cloned that too. And that third generation, I grew it out and it never hermed.
Wait,
What's going on? Right?
You kept it after the first one?
Yeah, I had cloned it, and then in flower it hermed. So I'm like, fuck it, I chopped it. But I had the clone, and I was supposed to cull everything that was male and that hermed. But for some reason, I kept it. I said, I keep it going. It was Watermelon Gelato X Mac V2, and I just really, really wanted that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? So I grew it out, but then I had some other plants, and so. But when I grew that one out as a veg, I cloned that one too during veg, because I figured it's going to be good, and I better be safer than sorry, right? But then I ended up culling it, thinking it didn't, not because it hermed or anything, just because I didn't have enough room, but because I knew I had that third gen, right? So when I did grow out that third gen, I had pistols like from the day I took it, and no problem, no herm at all, and man, it was good. I'm so glad I did it. But it took 2 months, or a month, for it to re-veg. The first
Jingle Man's wanting to know, what is your EC and flower there, Crack Babies?
Right now it's 850, 800 this morning. I've been dropping it there. I'm in the last week, right? So potentially.
What do you push in flower normally? Like first
1900, bro. Stupid. Like mega crop, it was a little higher. Like I had advanced nutrients before, and I was running that max 16 in flower. But when I got advanced and in veg, it was like 13, 12, 14. And but when I got mega crop, that one was 15 in veg and 19 in flower. And if you did under that, you'd get deficiencies. It was going yellow and stuff. And it's like, okay, so I guess that's the mix, right? And I always ran that after that. But then I saw some stuff on low EC and shit like that. So I started trying to run lower. Try to run it green, like deficient a bit, better deficient than tox, right? So
sure.
But it took it. And on top of that, I was trying that whole don't waste water thing. They're trying to be better in cocoa. Have it drink everything every day, so that every morning I get to it, it's dry and I refill it and everything's perfect, right? But the thing is when you get to it in the morning, the EC is like 2.5, 3. The pH is 4, because there's nothing left. So, and what's left is totally off, like the NER. So I can imagine that's not helping the plant, right? Not optimal. Not like cocoa where every feed is perfect. You know what I mean? So I started thinking about that. I'm like, okay, fuck wasting water there. I'm just going to waste water a bit. Get a better EC going, get a bigger bucket going. Don't let it empty itself. And, but now run low EC. because I was running low EC, but it was getting back to 3 by the morning. So it kind of nullified that, right? I wasn't really running low EC. I was just running at low EC in the morning. By next morning, it was high EC. So I'm going to try that again with more water and see how that works out. Because apparently I'm going to take a yield hit, but apparently it's good for the cannabinoids. So we'll see. Test the research, eh? I'll be the guinea pig.
Have you ever tried to get like your EC and PPMs down to like, 50, 30?
Well, that's what the research is saying, 15 and 50, and the super low, like, you got nothing left there, yellow nug, putrid little plant there in the field. It's like, I don't want that either, right? Those had the highest cannabinoid levels, though. It's like, well, yeah, but you got nothing. You got a little gram nug there, and that's super terpy. It's like, okay, but so I don't want that, right? But I don't want the super big nug now anymore, because apparently that one's way lower in cannabinoids than the one that's in the middle there, where it's optimal.
Oh, really?
Even a little deficient, where it's a little smaller maybe, but a little terpier. And that, so I'm just extrapolating what I saw from the research, which kind of blends in with the whole soil thing, right?
I agree with that, man. Most of my wild plants, so it's just like natural, fucking no amendments, no anything done to it, just barely even dig a hole for the plant. Those are usually only end up like 2 feet, but they end up like beautiful terps.
Struggle, but it's worth it, I want that comfortable medium. I want that plant that struggled a little. So it definitely took a hit yield wise, like size wise, but
it's
not
exactly. Well, it struggles
hard
compared to that. If that's only your means of measurement, for sure. But as you said, the terps and the quality of the cannabis was beyond your 8-foot plant that you had in your backyard, right? It's just like the wild plants.
That's what they're saying. It is. I haven't done it. It explains what the whole
done
soil
it.
side
I agree with that.
Would argue, right? To me, that's like it's a plus on their side. It's like, put that in your back pocket, because that's an argument that's science based. Well, for now anyway, it's not really peer reviewed there. It's brand new, but everyone's gonna get on that. They're gonna try it, and they're gonna either prove it or not, right? But it just feels right, because it matches a lot of what I see so far. And I'm a new guy there. I just started this 3 years ago. I don't know nothing really, but what I do know matches what that was saying. We'll see.
Well, it's a new guy who's always reading the latest papers, right? And trying to gather information. That's old fox. Well, we read that back in the day, like 15 years ago.
Well, that's what that paper was about. It was about those old papers saying, look, man, we didn't really research nothing since the 50s because it was illegal. Nobody could. And if they did, it was on CBD hemp, and it's not the same, right? Actually, it was another paper recently talking about how all the other papers are kind of bogus because they were all done on the wrong plant.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, we got all this research, but it wasn't really done on the right stuff, So, yeah, kind of all up in the air, really. So all you bro science guys there, don't give up. Science may back you after all. Yeah, because a lot of it hasn't been tested. Yeah, most of it hasn't. We don't know what the hell's going on in there. Why did skunk evolve? Where did it come from? How? Why? Can we reproduce that effect? Make it redo it again?
Breed it back outdoors. Let the fucking, I think that's where it all come from, is fucking being bred outdoors, the natural pressures from deer and everything else, man. Exactly. Had to produce that smell.
It's environment. Where was it?
It's sort of like the piff, man. It's like, it's not a specific plant. It's a description of like all the stuff that was
exactly. It's the
piffy,
phenotypical expression, which is the environment's effect on the phenotype. And so wherever it was, it made it do that, right? So what was it? How and why? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's what the skunk.
Because skunk is a repellent, right?
Soaking it in the leaded gas tank.
Universal.
Yeah.
And just the environmental pressure of the lead being in the air from the lead gas.
That too.
Yeah, could be a.
Or the Eagle 20 there.
Acid rain, man.
Nuclear
acid rain.
power plant.
Yeah, we need the Eagle 20 We need the acid rain. We need to bring it back to all the old school shit.
It was all that cyanide that we were smoking from the Eagle 20. And thought
Yeah, we cleaned the air and we got no more skunk.
Yeah, forced
pretty much it.
mutations. Yeah,
This comes back to the damn Eagle 20, damn it.
That's
a
a
nice side
20% off code.
Lose an arm, get some skunk.
Let's see. See some
All
plants?
right. Yes. But while you're on your way there, I'm going to show my arm real quick, just because I've been asked
go
several
for it.
times in chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. How the bridge got locked.
Oh, pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Oh, I the fuck the camera.
you ain't got it covered up, or you don't have to do that.
Oh yeah.
I ain't doing
Build it
nothing
into the
dirty. It's
city,
better
man.
to be aired out if you can do that, but keep it
Okay.
wet.
Right.
Keep it
How you
moist.
keeping it? How you keeping it wet?
Aquifer. I wash that motherfucker every 4 hours. An aquifer, and I underline to wash it before you ever reapply any fucking lotion to it. Even all through the healing process, make sure and wash it. Don't lather and lather and lather. That's when you start getting grown hairs and shit gets fucking bad. You start stacking like that. No. Okay, green jars, big jars, ladies over here. Yeah. Go.
So that is the Sky High V2. So we kind of see how some of them got a little funky looking.
You have the old one leafers.
Be sure
This one,
What day are those on?
60, 61.
All right.
So, and then this was the Skunk Bow, the second pheno. So, what are we doing?
No way.
Nice buds, man.
No way. Tonight is oddly, I knew tonight was going to be a good night, but tonight is the return of Red Pill.
No way.
Holy shit.
Nice.
So,
Idiot.
yeah, these are nice and chunky. But they this has got a nice tennis ball skunk smell to it right now.
Oh yeah. You get some rubber.
And now we got to get over to the little tiny one. Now these look like it's a pretty dusty trichome setup, and this one's all orange creamsicle.
I don't want to cut anybody off, but I just want to be the first one to
Nope.
welcome Red Pill back. Cheers,
Yeah.
Red Pill.
Hello,
I'll second it.
here. Am I through?
Yeah.
Sorry, Red Pill. Or Big Joe.
No, you're fine. And that's Count Griffey.
Nice. I like that one.
She's getting held up by a yo-yo. And that's probably the big hole in the back.
Damn. That's a seed.
Yep.
Nice. Well, clone run will be crazy probably then. There'll be barely any fucking leaf on her. That's a seed.
That's how she is. So.
That last one was Count Grippy.
Yep.
Oh, that's on my list, Smiley. You got that 420 sale going soon, Smiley.
Yeah. We're gonna have to. I'm behind on that.
Come on.
You gotta
Put it
come
on.
in for hash bash. Feed you a handful of seeds.
Yeah. And then you'll like this one, Major. I'll have at least 2 blue line pie to Crippy going into flower on Sunday.
Ooh.
Possibly 3. I'm hoping 3 because everything else is a fucking male.
Shit. It happens. Funny enough, the Blue Line Pie, 2 packs have come available up here in Canada. I'm not going to mention anything beyond that because they're mine.
Like
but I'm going to wait. Pardon me?
Like the original?
Yeah, the original. Yes.
No.
Yeah. I'm guessing Buddy just had them in his stash and then organized and then he found them. So I'm like, oh man, as if.
Yeah, dude.
So
No,
But yeah, jump on those.
Yeah, I snagged a pack of raspberries when I came across it because they're like gone too.
Mm-hmm. I think they came out with a V2 version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made an F2 of them, but the original. So would I be a dick if I popped those and kept the mail from it and ran them out?
Fuck no. That'd be awesome.
No.
That's kind of what I was thinking of doing for like a summer project, was try to find a mail from the raspberry. And then I could
would.
to like, you know, the mom that I've had for a while too, you know. So it'd be like his brother to sister, whatever, second generation, but it would be from different packs, I guess.
I'd probably like try to make a little isolation somewhere and just pollinate the whole group, man. Let them go crazy on each other, including your mom.
Do like an open pollination thing?
For sure. The first time, yeah. And then you can, you know, select some branches on your,
then sift through that.
Maybe on your mom outside that you'll put a little bit of pollen on, and each dad you could try to isolate that way.
So why would you want to do that? Like try to...
Well, you'll try to figure out what dominates. Like some of these traits would be sex oriented, right? Like the female will carry the terps, or the male won't carry anything but the structure. You know, you'll have to figure that out with those crosses and the receptacle crosses that you're going to do too, right? And switch it all up if you can. Like cross some blue line pie with your raspberries, and raspberries with your, you know, males and females, flip them. Yeah, just like you did with the Jack Skillington and Colombian, man. You'll do that reciprocal cross, and then you'll just get a little bit more knowledge on what the female's bringing. And then you get more seeds too on top of that.
A lot of time though, that's for sure.
Different location.
Adds another year or two to it.
Yeah. That's another project in the back pocket. What's up, Red Pill?
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we're just.
Hey,
What's
how's
a
it going?
good word, Red Pill?
No, not too much. Just wanted to come in. It's been a while. And hang out.
Yes, it has.
You still fucking with the steam distillation?
No, they've been doing some other stuff, trying to get prepared to move again. So.
Oh yeah, Michigan calling you.
Yeah.
Right on.
It has a tendency to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan draws a lot of great folks here. Come on, it's a nice state. If you can get by summer one day and winter the next, it's awesome. It does level out after a while.
Or in the same day, we had it fucking snowing like a son bitch in the morning, and at like afternoon, I went outside for a break, and it was like fucking sunny out and shit. Like, yeah.
That was today over here.
Snow's gone, everything. Like what?
You guys, while we're talking Michigan, hash bash, anybody? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe?
Saturday.
Maybe Saturday.
Maybe Saturday. We'll see.
Oh,
yeah. So I got to harvest and transplant and all that shit. So
there's like 3 plants in your fucking thing. I'm just fucking with it.
Yeah, I did learn something though. Okay, I ran a steel grate like Cheddar Bob does. Guess what? You can't do with that fucking whole plant hang. So now I gotta go in there and chop out unless I chop out the whole fucking wire.
Yeah, cut them at the stems and hang the whole fucking rack, dude.
I can't pull the rack out, so I'll be chopping them out single branch and hanging.
I was gonna say that's slick as shit. You got your whole drying rack and everything right in one unit. Just cut the stems, pull the whole scrog, flip it upside down.
If it was that easy,
I had a high enough ceiling right there, dude.
I don't know if your setup allows it, but there is a build a soil video of Jeremy flipping. Yeah.
Yeah, flipping a scrog. I've seen it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, he did it. He had the height in his tent. So in that 10x10.
I was gonna say, when you see the guys hang them too, like the photos I've seen in like the big, factory hangs.
That's how they're doing it.
The ceiling. It's almost like a plastic netting of some type, or like a net, like a square netting, and then they just hang like a V cut branch in every
little hook or anything
or whatever, and like fucking string that all the way up to the ceiling, and we got like a wall full of buds basically.
Yeah, so no, I set up my old 2x4, so I got that all. Been stringing stuff in the ceiling of that, so I can just hang everything pretty quick, hopefully. So we get everything set up out here in the garage for that and clean it and everything. So
I hung strips, so I got like closet rod that I hung, and then I just use these hangers. But you got to get the hangers for pants, because then they're the ones that aren't like the full hanger shape. They got the 1/2 just gone, so you can slide the pants on or whatever.
all right.
So that's how they title them on Amazon, is they're like pants hangers or whatever.
They usually just put the clothespins on the hangers, and I can put all kinds of little buds on there.
We're just missing an L. Plants.
Yeah, and then you just kind of cut a branch and hang branches on that. But
Yeah,
when
that's probably what
you
I'll
put
end up
them
doing.
on, you can slide them on without the whole shape of the thing. It's only the 1/2. It's like that. So you can just slide them right on, slide them off when you're done. It's a lot quicker than having the full hanger or whatever.
Yeah, I was looking
that
at something.
Mendo thing they were using there, the steel racking there, right?
Yeah, it's a lot like that.
Kinda made
Yeah,
like
so just pull it off and
A triangle
I'm looking
missing a
at that,
side,
so.
basically.
Now, what day you coming down to Hashmash, Eagle?
I am heading down there later tomorrow night, and we'll probably be there for tomorrow night and till Saturday night, probably. I don't think I'm staying Saturday night.
Is it all three? Is it Sunday too?
Yeah, I don't know why. It just seems
Sunday's the
stupid
actual
to have it.
competition, I think, isn't it? Or when the award show is and shit.
Yeah, it's usually
Isn't
when
that
they
Sunday?
do it. Yeah.
You just going to Monroe Street, or you going to the hotel?
Hotel, both Saturday.
Yeah, if I came down, it'd probably just be in Monroe Street. So I'm not gonna.
This will be my first year actually going to the Cup, and I always get kind of pissy about that because, I really feel like they've capitalized on, something that was true to heart, and then they went, oh, let's throw a cup on it. You know what I mean? And what I've seen the last few years is, man, the cup part of it is almost gotten to be the draw, and fucking the main event, the purpose is again getting kind of left behind. Everybody's like, yeah, well, whatever, let's go to the cup. And it's sad. It's just sad to see the weight of shit getting forgot.
Yeah, I've seen posts on Instagram and a few other things of guys talking about getting their kits. Which one did you buy? Which one did you get? And it's just like, that's not what it's about.
I don't even think, when it comes to purchasing them kits, I really believe that it loses a little bit of validity there, because who's to say that you enter a cup, I enter a cup, and I just don't set all my buddies up with fucking kits. Oh, you know what I mean? There's nothing to say that competition can't be swayed in such a way like that.
Oh yeah.
That's where when High Time, that's why I lost when High Times started doing that. That's when I was like, yeah, High Times has lost all credibility for me right now. That was what, fucking 17 or something like that, 19 when they started selling kits.
Dude, I always think of this too. Like, is there actually like the best weed? I don't know. I can think of 5 or 6 of them that I really
like.
like.
The stuff you're smoking. That's
right.
Each person will have a different one.
As far as like competition wise, you know what I'm saying? Like like any one of those would
It's a
probably
subjective-
any one of
it's a
those top
subjective one.
10, say the top 7, okay? Any day of the week, you'd probably be like sick of smoking the top one. You know what I mean? If that's all you had, like you'd get sick of it and you'd want to try the second or the third place or the.
That's a good
So
point.
it's like,
man.
Absolutely.
like what? So that's the one that got the votes and won that day or whatever. But like any of them weeds, you get sick of if that's all you had to smoke. And you know what I mean? You'd
It's
want
always
to,
really
then
good
the
on
next
first
one you
try.
get to try, the second place one, you'd be like, oh, that's fucking fire all of a sudden because you were always, you know what I mean? Like some weeds, sometimes it's like that with weed. You always got to have that rotation to it. So
Variety is the spice of life. It works what
There
we
it
do.
is.
You bring out a
Yeah.
good point too. I mean, the ethic of the judge there. Are they gonna smoke fucking 5, 6, 10? Are they gonna chain smoke the samples one right after another? Or is there enough time permitted to where each sample can be enjoyed to where you're doing minimal numbers of tests per day? I think that's ideally.
I think the guy that was bragging about picking up the concentrates one blew through half of that kit in a night.
You can't
How
tell none of
you
these-
Depends what they
truly
smoke all the time,
judging
too, right?
effect on that.
No, you're just buying it for the value at that point.
Like if you always
You
buy
got-
a gassy orange and you always smoke that, and then so when you smoke that gassy orange version, it's not gonna affect you because you got tolerance built up and it's something you
That's
always
what I
smoke,
was
right?
thinking too. Yeah.
So every judge could potentially be biased in that sense based on what they've
Yeah.
already been smoking regularly, because now that sample is not going to get the proper effect. Like
In
that
my
unique
opinion, you got to live with it. You got to live with it for like a month or two or whatever to know
Yeah.
what the fuck. You can't tell from fucking a week even because like I've had plants that I grew out, and the first hit it's like, damn, this shit's legit, and then like by week 2 or even at the end of the week, you're like, yeah, this shit wasn't as good as I thought because it was new. That's why it hit me in the head so good, and then it faded off super quick. Meanwhile, some other plant that I was like, yeah, this is all right, is holding up. You know, that one year I did a big harvest. That's when I realized the differences, and some
like a
last
tolerance build
longer,
up.
they do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, tolerance isn't
Yeah.
so great on some of them. Some of them you could keep smoking. You get stoned every time you hit it,
Yeah.
right? Some of
A
it
few
you
years
won't.
ago, people would ask, how come, when I have a bunch of new flavors or something, I don't go try each one of them. And that's what I used to do. I would either just open up one concentrate or one jar of weed, smoke it all until its entirety, and then move on to another one. And then that would bug some people who are like, that's weird. You should just like try all 6 of them. Like, no, I like to start one and then complete it and move on to the next.
It's true. You're going to go through the whole tolerance thing, right? By the end, you'll have built up a tolerance. And so that next new one's going to be so much better because it's so new.
Well, the only argument I saw against it was if this is like you're breeding and trying to pick phenotypes or variations of the plant.
Oh, as far as
Fine.
testing. Yeah.
That it's good. And then you have to also consider like, well, if it takes me like a whole month to get to, plant 6,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
is
Smoking
it
a lot.
like degrading or diminishing, or, you know what I mean? Because you're not really trying it at the same time that you were smoking plant 2 or plant 4. You're smoking plant 1 and 2 when they're 1 or 2 months cured, and by the time you're on plant 6, it's 3 or 4 months cured. So that's not just a completely different expression compared to its sisters, but now it's a different expression because it's aged more too.
Yeah, exactly. The cure is going to change everything too.
I just want to say one thing about like the sale of the judge kit. Now, on the other end of the deal, if you're the promoter, the person that's putting on the cup, if you think about that end of it, that end of it is kind of genius, really, because now you're making the average person feel like they're a huge part of, you know what I mean? And then that makes them want to come back. That's another ticket sold for next year, having that. Oh, I picked that one, walking around. Oh, is that the one I picked? That right there is that will keep them coming for year after year. So I get it, but I don't agree with the judging method. Let's put it that way.
Agreed.
way to weed out what's good. I mean, there's so many strains, man. You gotta have some kind of judging or some kind of top 10 chart or something. You know what I mean? Because I mean,
Well, if
how are
they're
you gonna know?
blind,
Where's
if
the
they're just
fire?
numbers, if they're just
They're just
numbers,
numbers.
That's the thing, though. They don't.
I
Well,
could spot
no, the
out
judging. I
mine.
know what you mean there, but I mean, at the end of the day, those type of contests are good for everybody because then you can know what the fire is, right? There has
You
to
know,
be
they
some
could also do separate. They could do the freaking, judges for the masses where they sell like a gram of each one to the people, have them vote on it. And then a panel of experts like me picking out which is truly the best. But yeah, they could have two separate, they could even do more than two. They could have all the chicks choose which one they like the best, or the dudes, they could have different judging categories.
No, that's true.
Doesn't matter. You got the final say, anyways, right, Tal?
I should have the final say. I doubt if I ever will, but I should, yes.
So we should have a weed nerd competition or something.
Yeah, send all your samples to me, and I'll get back to you.
I mean, like we all meet up and just fucking smoke down.
No. I mean, send all your samples to me.
Yeah, that's the best option.
Prejudge kit.
We'll start with that.
Yeah, well, what I heard is we can have an event. It's just going to happen at Tao's place.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
We're all going to your place now. That's all
If
set.
that's where it's all getting set, we're all coming here, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, smoke sesh at Tao's out in Central Park. Look at that. It's all legal.
Box
We do
of
have
hat,
one
really.
in New York somewhere.
And of course, when you get a whole bunch of cannabis to judge, you have 50 plus, you can freeze it. So you have to you can slow down that aging process and give you more of a even scale there when you're going through all your samples. I'm still on truffle breath. I think I got 3 cuts of truffle breath. So it's going to take me not only 1 year of smoking it and a whole year of growing it. It's going to take another year of growing the clone. Then those top 3 performers.
Do you take notes? Write anything down?
Hey, you freeze all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, do I take notes, buddy? I got fucking shitload of notes.
Okay, a simple yes or no would have sufficed.
You have to,
That's not the major.
It's just crazy
will
amount,
not.
stupid amount of notes. I gotta stop doing that.
that's a
The
whole nother
bundle
thing.
is 2 feet thick.
If you're growing this shit, then you gotta grow it and know how it grows out too, as well as know if it smokes and hits well. You want to be able to grow it successfully and not have some fucking bitch of a Bruce Banner bitch fucking flop bitch thing going on.
Does it look like Eagle's shout out list there, Major? The notes? I hope not.
Yeah, it's just a shout out list of strains. Yo, shout outs to
It's just fucking.
All penciled in.
Usually, it's on a scale, of 1 to 10, and hopefully hopefully we're playing.
Majors?
Hopefully, we're playing with 9s, man.
Working
9s
out,
only, right?
That's good.
Yeah, you guys have to jump out though. It's my time to cut her. But appreciate hanging out early, Eagle.
I appreciate you coming, brother.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow him out the door as well. So
I seen you two yawning for the last few minutes. I kind of seen it coming.
The early birds now, man. Shit.
Hey,
Yeah, we'll catch up with you this weekend.
How is the new job, Smiley? Before you go, you all good? You enjoying it?
Yeah, I am. I'm starting to. Yeah, it was kind of a lot at first, just because their computer system's way different than anything I've done before. So, but otherwise it's just same shit I've always done. It's parts and labor, and it's a job. So
Yeah.
they're all killer people, kick-ass people. It's a cool facility and plays really well. So I'm happy about it.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
that's all it counts.
John, Smiley,
Lucky to have the
man.
job, really. Yeah, it was kind of a blessing. The guy that hired me was he kind of, I don't know. He knew I've known him for a number of years, and he was like, "Hey, man, I got an opportunity. I think you would be perfect for it." So it was kind of like, yeah, it was like handpicked, I don't know.
Yeah, those jobs, I've had a couple of those jobs. Those feel good.
Yeah,
They just feel good.
but it's been well.
I'm glad, brother.
But yeah, dude, we'll catch you this weekend.
Looking forward to that shit. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
I know, but I'm out of all.
Don't forget the 420 sale.
I'll have to be getting some, I guess. I'll have to find somebody to buy some from.
Don't look
There's
at me.
weed
Don't look at
there.
me. I just smoked my last
Yeah,
one.
some weed.
I just smoked my last one. So, all right, man. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
A great
Good,
day.
big guy.
Peace out, boys.
Peace out.
Peace out, Big Jaw.
You gonna go live there, Eagle, and at the hash bash? Or?
Probably at some point. Maybe. Probably. Depends on how, how many people are there and all that good shit. Let's put it this way. I'm not committed. I'm not committed to go live if I could,
It is a bit of a pain. Eh? Gotta hold the phone the whole time. Man.
Well, it's like one of those things like, we're all hanging out smoking weed now. I'm running around throwing a camera in your face while we're all trying to have a casual conversation. At some points it's cool, and at some points it's like, hey, we're off. We're off. Have some fun, dude.
I get it.
Friday's gonna be mixed.
It's gonna be fun.
This is mixed precipitation.
Well, I'm gonna do a dab with some sherbet cake right now. I got some sherbet cake, kind of like a
Friday to Saturday. Saturday's gonna rain though.
battery saucy consistency.
All right.
Holy crap! The day that we go
Sherbet cake.
tourism is Sunday.
Go,
I got
mate.
cherry sherbet going right now.
Yeah.
I am sincerely glad you popped on, Red Pill. For reals. It's been way too long.
Yeah, it has. Well, see, about since October, I had this whole plan drummed up and, strategy, and the time was moving fast. And I was thinking, I'll just come back on when I got, my setup in Michigan there, and it'll be like a brand new scene and a whole bunch of new stuff. And then that planned to be about mid-March or April, around this time. And when time was moving fast, I was thinking, oh shit, that it'll be mid-March or April before I know it. And then maybe around just last month, maybe like switch from January to February, it all of a sudden felt like slow as hell. Time's moving by. And I was actually anticipating moving and waiting. And then, that makes it even worse because now you're waiting. Now it feels like even longer time to wait for. And then we're finally here. And I'm not there yet, but I just came on anyways because I didn't want to wait that long for all that. Just extra suspense or whatever. Yeah.
We've missed out on some great viewpoints in the past. Because say what you want. We've got to know each other a little bit over the years, and I know that during certain conversations or when we're talking, I can literally feel like Red Pill stewing in chat. He could be he's got something good to say, but like I said, I'm just glad you're here now. That's all that matters is this moment, my friend. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers to you guys.
Second that.
Cheers, Red Pill. I'll take a bong rip for that. Good to see you, kid.
Yeah, there's plenty of, hot takes or whatever you want to say, devil's advocates or juxtaposition or whatever the fuck, opposite lines of thinking. Yeah, a lot of them, it's just I don't really agree with, and it's just like a new trend or a mixture of where advice comes from or lack of experience, and I don't know. It's just certain things you can't really do anything about, like people's breeding practices / what kind of concentrates they're into, their knowledge pertaining to essential oils and terpenes. I don't know. sometimes I don't want to sound like a preacher or a professor. You know what I mean? So.
Multitasking.
Well,
Good
start your
day.
own school, Professor Red Pill.
Yeah, it's. I'm not going to go down the list of them now, but you know,
There's a lot of growing myths. Is that what you're saying?
well, I guess the word that gets overused now that I wouldn't even, it's not even in my vocabulary is bro science. You know, like
Right.
anything that I would say that isn't on a white paper has to be bro science.
Got to
You know,
start somewhere. I think it all starts with a bro science or a theory in general. So it's a theory, just bro science kind of thing.
It has
Yeah,
to be,
man.
little
right?
bits, but there's
Or else they
theories.
wouldn't think of what to test, right?
A lot of
Somebody has to
well-paid
do some
science.
bro science to say, hey man, try this. Like, you know, test this. And then
Dude.
it becomes science. So
Some of the most famous and well-paid scientists are also bros, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
The
That's
dude who
what we need.
found fucking that air guy, he was a scientist, right?
Yep.
He was a bro for sure, tripping out, fucking riding his bike.
Yeah.
it's happening now, you know. Like in Canada, it's been legal a while now. Now the schools are teaching it and everything there. They're you know, so there's all sorts of research going on. It's legal, you know. But that hasn't
Yeah,
happened yet in
and
the US or so. It's
they
mostly
actually
like
proved
Israel and places like that where they're testing, you know.
a couple bro science theories, right? Right, Bill? That one about lollipopping, like the chick's like, why are you guys cutting all that off? And then they did the tests, and the parts of the plant that are that low that don't get enough light don't contribute to the health of the plant at all. They
So that's what I mean. Who would be on the side arguing against lollipopping? You know what I
right.
mean?
Well, a scientist would question it. That's what happened.
Going to re-veg, so I ain't going lollipop.
That
Re-veg.
chick, that chick was like, she was a real
I've always
scientist.
used like not lollipopping. Like, say if I've got a linky strain and she's already like fucking shooting for the stars, I'll leave that shit in the bottom and cut it out after the stretch. So that energy is kind of being sucked up by the lower growth. It isn't all straight to the fucking top of the tent. So sometimes I will leave it until the end of stretch and then I'll cut it back.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, this chick was from the scientist community, and someone hired her to work in the cannabis field. And that's when she saw all the bro science stuff and was questioning it all. And then she started doing tests on the bro science things.
Well,
and,
go no further.
More than one.
Bros versus chick science.
More than one end up, having merit to it to benefit either the yield, harvest, or freaking the plant overall, So
there are things that happen that like topping the plant. You take half the plant off, yet it's still it's like it gets a big jolt of energy, then boof, and it's right back to where it used to be a couple days later. But it's missing half the plant. So how is that possible if you're taking all the leaves off? And you know what I mean? It's a good chunk of the plant there when you do that. Go from node 3 to 6 to 3. That's not a big, like it's 2 days maybe a delay. You know what I mean? And then you're back up and running.
It's also to benefit the plant in other ways. Cutting all that unneeded foliage helps the plant breathe better and have better air exchange. And
yeah, but at that point it's just 6 nodes, right? There's not enough leaves. Like it could handle having all those
doing
leaves.
It at all. No foliage management at all could lead to, bud rot, botrytis, or.
Yeah. But I'm talking like the first week, like 2 weeks or a veg, or 3 weeks at the most. When you're at node 6, which is pretty early, right? So if you top from there to 3, then you got 3 nodes of leaves. That's like you got 6 leaves. That's not much, right? So you don't want to defoliate till you're like at the end of week 3 there, where it starts to really get an RH problem there. You can't see through the plant there, the jungle. But it depends how fast it grows too, right?
Yeah, it depends on the plant. Yeah.
Like me and DWC there, it's like, it's dense forest there. So I have to defoliate.
That one day I came on and showed them Eagles like I'd take off all them fucking leaves. I'm like, all right, fuck it.
I still do. I still do, Joe.
I have plants right now that Eagle be like, take them fucking leaves off right now.
I remember you were like, I'm never fucking doing that again.
I should.
You did too. You did too. I still swear by that being, it may slow that plant down a bit, but them fucking everything below that top's gonna fucking shoot out. Instead of having a tall 8 miracle stem plant, you're gonna have a fucking bush. 100%.
See, all of these you would take right the fuck off, right, Eagle? These fat fucking leaves.
Yep. Gone.
There's 3 plants here. This one's a girl. The biggest one, the tallest one's a girl. These other 2 I can't tell yet, but
Close it down, right? It's like an LST when you bend it, you're getting everything else a chance to kind of catch up. They all kind of share the energy there with the auxins and all that. But when you let it go, it'll shoot back up and it'll straighten back out. But the other ones are kind of like even powered now. So they're all going to shoot up at the same time. And next thing you get a nice even bush and basically no restraints.
Here's that autoflower with the massive freaking.
Oh, nice style.
No, it's got the massive stretch. I don't like these long stems that come up. But yeah. I got a couple plants out here. This is that. These are autoflower. Major General autos. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not freaking out right now.
Oh, chest pains from that auto. Damn.
That's more like it.
That concrete you got there?
Yeah, where you growing that in? Grows best in concrete, man. I'm telling you.
But this one definitely had a stretch on it that was pretty extreme. But yeah, all right.
Any haze in that thing?
What's that? No, that's oh shit. Yeah, I got labeled. It's Green Crack Auto from Smart Poker sent me some seeds.
Oh, that was a
he
little
sent me 2
crack.
seeds. And one didn't go, one did, so we'll see what happens. But I think I screwed it up. I think I just missed optimum transplanting into the 5-gallon one anyway. From the 1 gallon.
The brotherhood forgives, but autos don't.
But it's
God
still,
forgives, but the autos don't.
It's over 2.5 feet tall right now.
That's from that movie. Damn it.
Yeah, autos. If it weren't, for me, it's just a cost factor. If I like to sustain myself. If I can buy the plant one fucking time and just that be it, and I can just grow it forever, I'm cool with that. But I don't like to have to pay for things over and over and over and over and over and over and over if I don't fucking have to.
You could ask one in,
that's
right?
really good, right? You can't. It's like, damn, you can't take a cut. You're screwed. Like you hope the next seed is the same, right? It's like, no, you never know. So that really sucks.
Well, that's the thing with autos, right? They're always working on the next generation.
Yeah.
Well,
So eventually,
There's no extending its life. There's no.
What is it, like F4s are like 96% stable?
Oh,
right,
that's
so
not too bad, right?
4% variation. Why not?
4%, yeah. Phenotypical.
Major.
Give or
Have you
take.
bumped? You're scaring me here. The way you've grown over the last little bit with these autos, man. First they're composting. Now you're arguing the fact and shit. Well, I mean, who's gotten to you, Major?
You're saying
Who
that
the fuck has
stabilized.
gotten to you?
It's springtime, man. Just trying to be more positive, more of a positive character,
Okay, I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
Self-improvement
That's
program I'm on.
good answer. Good
Autos
answer.
Canada Inc.
Thank the Lord.
That's what it is.
All right. Good answer.
And yes, Buddy's going to send me some autos, and I'm going to fucking try some modern autos. I guess shit from 5 years ago
Yeah,
was.
we're turning a brand new page here.
We're like 9.
So yeah, brand new page of wasted time and effort.
That was trying to get me to get a blurry Major tattoo yesterday. They're like, it should be super easy for him to do.
Yeah, just below the bridge, it would have been hilarious. Little fuzzy detail down there.
Yeah, it was cracking me the fuck up.
That was cool, man. How long did that take?
Roughly 5 hours. Cigarette
5
breaks.
hours. Took
Couple
5
cigarette
hours.
breaks. Yeah, I think we started at like 9. Well, let's see. We started at 9, and I think we wrapped up about like 1:30ish. So, all right. I think we even started earlier than that. Shit, it might have been earlier than that. It might have been like 4, 5.
Were you roofied?
No, yesterday I fucking took some RSO. I always take RSO, some Pico, full spectrum before that shit. Just I don't tell him that though. I was telling that beforehand. I watched this poor lady, and she's pretty well covered. But man, I was discussing when there's 2 types of sittings. There's that I got an appointment and I got to make that appointment. I just want the tattoo sitting. That one's for most people it's going to be fucking painful as fuck. But if you got some shit built up, you know what I mean? You're actually going for that ink therapy. You can sit through that shit, man. But if you're not in that place, it's not a fun thing. And I watched this poor gal yesterday, fucking, and that's another thing too. Pat's usually pretty spot on, but he was, I don't know. He was concentrating on his work yesterday. So I watched this poor gal, and she's like, I mean, she was like every face in the book, and I'm like, you're not there today. It ain't therapy today, is it? She's like, no, it's an appointment day. It's an appointment day. And then, so yeah, I did my best to, I'm pretty skilled at seeing that, knowing what helps in that chair. And so I started talking to her about work, or, what she does and stuff, and help snap her out of that fucking bad pain there. But there's a difference in the 2 settings, 100%, therapy or just an appointment, 100% pain. I don't know if
So
that
the
makes
live
any
stream
sense.
was helping you, right? And
Well,
it keeps your mind off.
That was actually, I will not lie to you guys. I have always been super upright and honest with all you guys. And I swung that as part of the deal. I was like, yeah, we'll live stream.
Okay.
I'll put Dark Horse in the program and whatever. Knock a little bit off of that little pricey price there, and we'll go live.
Oh, that's good advertising.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. So that was one of the major factors.
You should have told him to get his books out. Like, get your books out. Show him the tattoos, man. Come on, show him the ones that you done.
Oh, I forgot though. I sidetracked. But after she was done, she was making another appointment. She didn't, whatever. They didn't make it through. Pretty much tapped. And I told her, he goes outside for a cigarette, and I'm like, next time, I don't know how big into cannabis you are, but minimum, if you don't like the cannabis high or a cannabis THC high, 200 milligrams of CBD or some FICO or some RSO, whichever you prefer to call it, and you'll out-sit him every time. She's like, really? I'm like, seriously. I've literally taken about 3 grains of rice before I've had my feet done and live streamed through those. And the whole time he's just pounding away on them. And I'm like, hey, how you guys all doing? Fuck, by the end of it, I'm like, hey, I was slurred a little bit by the end of it. And this shit really punched towards the end. But I wasn't tapping, that's for damn sure. Cam Trooper, how you doing, my friend?
Cheers, bro.
What's going on, guys? Cheers, Eagle.
What up?
Cheers, Carter.
What's going on, Sal? What's going on, Ripple Major?
Same old, same old.
Nice to see you, man.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that it was Thursday and that you got on. I was chatting with someone. They're like, "Oh yeah, Eagles on." I was like, "Wait, what?" Oh yeah, Thursday.
Early show, and now Monday too, man. Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
You think?
Nice.
I prefer to call it RSO. FECO sounds like fecal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds weird for sure. Was that fecal stand for? Like full spectrum something? Cannabis oil? What? How do you spell it? I don't even know how to spell it.
FSO, yeah.
Pico, isn't that ethanol? Ethanol
Is there
something?
No, full
Full ethanol.
Full extract
cold-
cannabis oil, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
cannabis- Well, okay.
there's not anything like woke going on with it where people call it FECO because they don't like The Simpsons.
It is kind of that. It
Like
is
your
kind
show
of
Of
name.
course,
that.
I thought so. You don't like Rick
FTSE
Simpson,
or-
so you're going to call it. fucking
And that's that.
FTSE.
Yeah. It is exactly.
Well,
that
there's your red
kind of
pill
way.
moment for the day. That's
High
what irks me.
terpene.
Good
That's
point.
what it was.
Nice red pill.
HTFSE. It was high terpene full spectrum extract. In Canada, they had that.
Yeah,
and
that's the
high
sauce.
HCFFSE,
And that's the
which was
diamonds.
high cannabinoid terpenes or full spectrum extract. Because some of them was sauce and some of them was diamonds, right?
Mhm.
And so
You know, I'm a little bit of a stickler to it. I do get a little bit like I don't know, it doesn't, but when someone like will call shatter crumble or wax shatter, it's like there's specific terms for type of consistency that it is.
yeah,
They're not generally used terms, you know.
So is there a
PHO
difference
potentially?
between shatter and like a pull and snap consistency?
Yeah, for sure. Pull and snap
Yeah.
and shatter. If
Shatters
you
like
you can
glass.
call
Hard.
But it's
pull
probably
and
just a
snap
little
shatter.
difference in the time, right? In the timing.
Yeah, because it's going to depend on the temperature of the room that you're in too. Because pull and snap will become shatter if you're out in the garage and it's like 30 degrees out.
Yeah.
So that's another good thing. I'm kind of glad you're here finally. The other night we were talking about like making like a sugar. I was talking about, I should clean that up there. I was talking about making a sugar out of RSO by just letting it sit out over time. And do you agree? I know it does, but do you agree that process can be done?
In the time that I've been on a break, one of the things I've been researching a lot is actually syrup making, candy making, sugar, how to infuse it with all different types of things, how to make like natural syrups, basically like Korean farming style. It's just like even weights of fruit to sugar in a jar, and it just in a few days or a few weeks becomes a syrup. And other ways to do that, and mixing it with RSO and then reducing it down basically back into a hard candy and then grinding that into a sugar.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Natural sugars are from the plants. Oh yeah.
It's better.
And blending
it's
it
just a
before
better,
you break it down, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. It's better, more homogeneous mixture, even distribution. You can't really in like ethanol or butane dissolve cannabinoids the same way you can with sugar, like it's fat or an oil. So it's really emulsification is what you're doing. And all that is just like such a fine mixture of two or more molecules or compounds mixed together is an emulsion.
I thought they
Like
just put
lecithin,
sugar.
right?
I thought they put sugar and RSO in alcohol.
Yeah, no,
mix
that's
it
ghetto.
up,
Don't do
and
that.
then let it evaporate, right?
Yeah, but that's a little bit ghetto.
Does it work or not?
Sure.
like infusing the sugar
No.
cube, you know what I mean? Like it's
There's nothing wrong with being a little ghetto, red pill. You fucking stuck up snob of a fucking Canadian.
Yeah,
You're
it
not even
works.
Canadian, are you?
half a Canadian. Get it right.
do that with maple.
but-
Be
right?
as snobby as you can be with this stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to win, right? Be a freaking super snob.
So yeah, that's what I've been looking at. It's called chung. It's a Korean method for making syrups, and that's what I want to do: make medicated syrups and turn that into candies, sugars, sodas, cocktails, whatever the fuck.
Dude, I'll
come
be
up,
guinea
come up
pig.
and
I'm
check our maple trees, bro.
candy
Yeah.
junkie.
You can do that too. Maple trees.
Oh,
There's I do want to do that. I want to make a root beer recipe that basically instead of sugar uses honey and maple syrup for the carbs. No sugar. No cane sugar, at least, no processed bullshit.
infused maple syrup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
You can
already
make
good.
infused maple syrup, infused medicated root beer.
Oh man, that would.
Yeah, and then make
Good.
a infused ice cream medicated root beer maple
Float.
syrup float.
Oh. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's a little bit what I've been focused on, because over the summer and when I was going to all those events in Michigan, that kind of gave me more inspiration and perspective of how I wanted to do things. And compared to basically everywhere else in the country, the way I see it, Michigan allows for the best setups at events, because it's basically like a farmer's market or a flea market for weed. I don't see anywhere else in the States that they're allowing you to do that. Maybe New York to some extent, but definitely not in California like they used to. Definitely not in Washington like they used to. So
Heard that some venues are going to try to play both sides, and I'm super interested in just seeing how that works. So I know I've heard Big Clouds is going to do a few events where they're doing metric and caregiver. So I'm like, okay, this should be interesting. So.
well, that first event I went to was weird. It was one in Holland, and it was for an opening of a dispensary. So I'm thinking like, wait, this don't make sense. When I'm going there, like I was thinking like, is everything going to be all dispensary weed at dispensary prices? No, it wasn't. And I was thinking like, well, why the hell would they do this? This dispensary is going to be out of business before they even open.
Bunch of different cheaper options in front of them. That's not good. Not the best advertising, I guess.
Better, cheaper options.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know. Whatever. And customers. Oh, you're muted, Eagle.
I change mute buttons. Usually I hit the one on the mic. I fucking decided to use the one up there for some reason. That's like being in the middle of an event. Same thing. Ooh, yeah. If you would have been back there, I've spent all my money by the time I got over here. That's what same thing that it sounds like that would be. Great play. So I will be back.
Yep.
I look like fun, man. Shit. That Mendo show, man. That was a good little episode. Well, you guys all met up there too, right? That was pretty cool. Hopefully that'll be the case this time around, huh?
To hang out with everybody sometime this weekend if you're in Michigan.
Yeah.
I love the cane dispense. I do. I really live for summer, spring. I got to give Michigan some credit. Even like last year, man, Michigan pushed the outdoor events until damn near fucking damn near it snowed. I mean, they were having camping events until like it was fucking snowing outside and shit. And I was like, good for you guys. It's so hard to have a good, with the way we smoke in Michigan, it's fucking hard to have a good indoor event because we fucking clam bake any fucking building we're in. Even like Detroit, what was it, like 17, the Detroit Cup there, they had one of those big industrial buildings, right? Fucking abandoned industrial buildings, big motherfucker. They were doing dabs in there, and you couldn't literally walk into that building without getting fucked up. I mean, it was just dead. I mean, it hit you as soon as you entered the building. You were like, "Wow!" You
That's
didn't
what
need
I
to hit
call.
with them.
a safe space. We need more safe spaces like that in college campuses around America.
Yeah.
Like airplane
yeah.
hangars or yeah.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
It was hot as
Super high
fuck that
ceiling.
day, though. It was hot as fuck that day, and you wandered in there to get out of the heat, and then you just got blasted by the dab vapors. It was that event was, all in all, was crazy. I mean, Detroit was crazy. I've been to a lot of college. Detroit was crazy. So, were you there, Canna?
Not that one. The first High Times Cup in Michigan.
And
the infamous one.
yeah. And so, and I think it was 17 there. They were down literally a mile down the road, backed up line, sweltering fucking sun. And man, everything you could see everything. We were smoking in line, fucking there was betting in line. There was kids rolling down the street with coolers of water, selling water for I think it was like $5 a piece. And I'm like, I go, you kids, man. At that point, I'm like, man, that's fucking awesome right there, man. That's fucking awesome. And then fucking there was cats. I mean, they were in teams. They all had the same red board, fucking running around, playing 3-card money and fucking dice games and shit. And fucking anytime the police would drive by, man, they would fucking slap that shit out of your hands and shit. Oh man, complete with crowd plant. You know what I mean? The guy that would work with the team and drive the bets and all that shit. Oh man, it was Detroit beautiful.
I'd love to see the place. I heard it's pretty crazy.
Oh, it was crazy that day, that weekend. No Mercy, son. It was crazy. It was a fun event, though.
What I said about the RSO, that's not ghetto. The 3-card Monty, that's ghetto.
Yeah.
I did laugh, though. That was funny, Eagle. I'm torching up, by the way. Cheers.
It was funny. I actually seen, I was standing right there when the one table got busted or was trying to be busted. And yeah, it was obviously a team thing. I seen one lady in front of me lose $1,000, $1,000, $1,000 fucking dollars in the line to go into the cup. And was all angry about it. I'm like, you're the one fucking betting on the street of fucking Detroit $1,000 fucking dollars. Yeah, yeah, but it was. I'm telling you, it was fucking crazy. Straight up crazy.
You should have went and got
gamble
a
money.
deck of cards.
Fuck that. I'm not a gambler. I am not a gambler for real.
Set up your own table.
I don't gamble with my money. I only gamble with my life.
There you go. It's more fun.
It is. It's true.
What you smoking on? What's everybody? I know I've already asked this, well, earlier on, but I think we've got a lot of new people in here. Major, Tao, I don't think we know what you're smoking on. Red Pill Digivulge. Canna, I don't know what the fuck.
I'm hitting on this Romberry shit, dude. I found a jar of it in the desk drawer.
What kind of flavors do you get off the Romberry?
Dude, it has no berry flavor whatsoever. I don't know how to explain it. It's what I think haze smells like, but there's like no haze in it. It's, well, I don't know actually. It's Apollo, whatever it is. It's Romulan by Blueberry. The kid who had the seeds got the seeds from the Federation and, effed it. So it's F2s of those. But
did you get phenotypes out of it that were like really big, like the old school colas, Big Bud, that kind of shit?
I didn't. I only grew out 2 different females, and I had one male, but that thing died off relatively quick. Like I wasn't planning on keeping it anyway. but I didn't realize. I still have some more of the seed, and the shit gets me twisted though. It's like a different kind of high. I was saying it before. It's a totally different high. But the two females I had were like thin. They were thin buds, like kind of a little bit airy. So I don't know. I think I don't know, but I really like the smoke, but it's a non-yielder right now. But I did hit it with the cheesequake. I'm going to see how those plants grow.
I haven't heard the name Romulan in years.
Yeah, dude.
Man, that's a classic Canadian strain.
There's a couple of dudes that claim to have the real deal. And from the pictures, it looks like it is. Like IG, there's a
Romulan never yielded.
Genetics. It never yielded, you saying, Major?
It never yielded. No, it never yielded, man. It was solid pine bud.
Okay.
That's why I remember the old Romulan. Never yielded, but it was strong as fuck, for sure.
Yeah, dude. It gets me fucking.
That's why it was cat, man.
Cheers, but those plants. What's up, buddy?
Cheers.
Hi to everyone.
Those plants that I was showing, that I was saying I could take them leaves off, those are chocolate tie-by cheesequake. That, yeah, as soon as a couple seeds fell out of a few of them, so I started those and some Amy Aces from that last seed run that I did. But these don't look. This is the kind of plant I like, I think. It's like short and stout. You guys like the long ones. I don't know. I don't care.
I like the short and stout. I always find the stronger girls are the runts. The shorter girls like that.
They're not like long. They're just tight. And then they got these big ass fat fucking leaves. Or at least these ones do.
They get her done. You know what I mean?
So yeah, this is the chocolate tie by the cheesequake. And yeah, that's the chocolate tie with no chocolate flavor in it. But I figured I while I had it and while the cheesequake was dropping, I'd fucking hit it up. I didn't kill the chocolate tie plant yet either. So I could do more. But yeah.
You know, the most chocolate thing I've had in a while was some really old Gorilla Glue 4. Gorilla Glue, I don't know, I'm having trouble saying it. Gorilla Glue 4. That was cured long, had a very chocolatey taste.
Martin says that
aroma.
all the time. The Gorilla Glue has chocolate in it.
Well, how long did that take, Red? Like a good 9 months?
Yeah, 8, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where the skunk smell is too. Fucking a year cure.
I don't think the hippies would have sat on it that long. Back then, nobody was sitting on weed letting it cure for it. They made that buck.
But it could have been, you know,
man,
whatever.
there was always that guy who had too much weed.
But that was the end of it, and everybody was like, "Damn, when that shit come in?"
Yeah, and back in the skunk era, like you could smell it a half a mile away. Like even the smallest garden, you could smell from the road. That stuff. Well, it didn't need to cure to stink.
I've gotten a variety that was kind of near to me for a long time. Trinity, that's going around now ever since like summer 2022. Everyone seems to have that, even though before that, no one even knew what it was for like a 14-year period of time. But anyways, it fell out of the sky somewhere. My first impressions of that was, now I could have just said maybe it's because I was way younger and had less cannabis experience, but that was the most skunk smell, far away smelling weed that I've ever came across, encountered.
In the 90s, man. I smelled a fresh plant cut there.
What makes up the Trinity? Trinity. What's in that, man?
It's kind of when I make this comparison, I know it kind of, you have to have seen the cat piss episode of that other channel show that they did like 2 years ago, where everyone literally was all pissy at each other, telling the cat piss stories. And there was like 6 different people that claimed they had the original, and they're the person that, you know, whatever, spread it around. Sort of like that. Over the years, the story has changed multiple times with Trinity. And it's actually sort of like a local hometown legend around here. And I have a different, whatever, narrative or backstory for it than a lot of people do. But to answer your questions, as far as genetics, it's basically just like a old school Afghani. So.
Well, hey, I just wanted to hop on for a little bit and smoke for you guys. It was good seeing you guys. Good to see you, Eagle. I gotta get up in the morning and do a meeting, so I'll see you guys around.
Yep.
Have a great day. Thanks for popping on.
Yeah, man. Cheers.
Peace out.
You know, to go back, like when I was listening, Red Pill was talking about syrups and sugar, and here my experience. Maybe it's 10 years working with the same customer that developed basically a hard candy edible, like Jolly Rancher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for years, used to just get crumble, we'll say, BHO. But then, it's been a lot of years now. The only person that I still basically, even though it's like, even my worker knows the difference, we're not trying to achieve any cosmetic look, but we basically make shatter. We winterize it, right? Basically do the best we can to pull the fats and the lipids out, and then vacuum oven out the alcohol, even though it's already been BHO, because in his candy line, when he used to use just crumble, the hard candies would like they wouldn't stay stable like hard candy. They would like get like the fats and the lipids in it would like start to coagulate, right? Over a month or two or so. And then when we switched to just winterizing the material, it mixes right into basically that's sugar, water, and a mold. It's a really simple thing, but it's like important that it's for him, like what we found or he found that it has to be winterized for you. Basically, when you freeze that ethanol, the fats and the lipids sink to the bottom and you can filter them off. But that makes it that the hard candy will stay like a Jolly Rancher for months and months and months. But when it had the crumble mixed in, they would like coagulate after a period of time. That's just my 2 cents or my experience working with someone like that.
That makes sense. Sugar. Like honey oil, right? They had to winterize it to keep it liquid so that you could put it in a cart and vape it through a ceramic heater, and it won't clog up.
Years ago, when the difference between crumble and shatter was winterizing it, right? Mm-hmm. Now a lot of the BHO tech has like, it's not really winterizing, but they de-wax it. There's like
everyone's running at such a cold temperature that the butane doesn't carry any of the waxes or fats.
Right.
The colder you get butane, the more you're just getting terpenes and cannabinoids.
Because the shatter looks clear like glass there. It's like there's no wax in there. You know what I mean? You'd see it. It'd be like opaque.
Yeah. Well, even the way that's like de-waxing that tech, which is different than winterizing. Winterizing is like is a chemistry tech. Like wasn't invented to do this.
It's a perfuming industry. That's where they'll make what's known as a concrete, what we call wax or crumble in the perfume industry world is called concrete. And when they winterize it or de-wax it, then it's called an absolute. So they form a shatter, what we would call the hard, stable stuff. That's what they would call an absolute. So on the market, there's jasmine absolute, there's rose absolute, violet absolute. A lot of those flowers make like a shatter-like essential oil when you remove the waxes. And it's very expensive too. Not the process to do it, the end product you get out of it.
You can get essential oils pretty much for everything. That's a
Could they
market.
be mixed in cannabis though? I mean, like,
It's not edible. Most of them you don't want to ingest, right? So
well, I've
you
seen
can
them
get the
like
edibles and
mixed
nothing.
with tinctures, essential oils and tinctures,
Yeah, I
peppermints.
guess
Yeah,
it depends on which one, right?
I don't know how
There's got to be a
profitable it
food
is
grade version.
because the place has like historic rating, and they do weddings there. There's a bunch of art, but right up the road from me, and it's like the Ross family, who is the family that developed this area. It's like their homestead from like hundreds of years ago. But for years, it was like hundreds of acres of lilac, and they even had a name like Lilac Farms, and they I think they were farming that for extract. And then like a couple years ago, they took out all the lilac and switched it to lavender, and now it's called Lavender Farms. And I assume they're
The same thing,
growing
right?
the lavender for and I remember hearing in a panel years ago that 90% of rosemary that's farmed out in the earth is for extract.
That makes sense. Aromatherapy is huge, man, and it's old, right?
Started
Well,
with
I mean, I
Ayurvedic
think
medicine.
Yeah, and I think at some point when you extract to like absolute the pure terpenes out, our modern food industry, like you know, General Mills, and they deconstruct food and then rebuild it. So they put all the flavored terps back in, right? And all those things are commodity. Some like this isn't news, but some of them are relatively inexpensive, but then are also easily obtained and farmed. That's some of them are like exclusive and like are the most expensive things per weight on the planet.
Yep.
Well, it's like they make the flavors, right? Synthetically
That's
with
it.
chemicals. Like it's
Yeah.
not the
Well,
same.
like those ads we used to see where there was like a food chemist in a white outfit and in his lab with all these beakers behind him. Like if you were a food chemist designing food at that level, you'd have every terpene and flavonoid and every possible combination of such at your disposal. That's
No, but that's what I mean
expertise.
is you could go with a like a flavor that's made by nature, like I don't know, like a lilac, or you could go in the lab and take chemicals and make a lilac smell. That's nothing to do with the plant, and it's there's nothing that's in those ingredients that come from a plant. They just made the smell chemically, and most of that is what we ingest and eat and FDA approved, and you know what I mean. It's a little.
Well,
I'd rather have the
ultimately,
plant
like
taste than the chemical.
even like a simple thing like Raisin Bran, if you didn't deconstruct it and make it the way they did, year to year, batch to batch, would have slight variations, right? Because wheat's different each year. So for national brands to operate where you can count on whatever be, their product might not be that good, but it's always the same. That's like important.
You mean they didn't pick the flakes off a tree?
They've chosen as a way to attain that is basically deconstruct food down to mush and reconstruct it the way they want it.
A lot of where I get this information
flavor
is some research that Dr. Robert S. Pappas, I think he's out of University of Indiana, but he gets paid by all of these corporations when they're buying all these flavors to do whatever they want to their cosmetics or their food. If they question the validity, if any of them are like cut with a synthetic, like say it's linalool that's from lavender and it's like a bunch of really nice lavender, they'll some company will, literally cut it like cocaine or something, and they'll take 70 or 30% of that good lavender oil out and replace it with synthetic lavender oil. So this guy's job is to test it and make sure these companies buying those like millions of gallons of that oil aren't getting ripped off.
So that they're not cut, right?
Yeah,
Well, that was the thing in the honey.
He's literally tested like hundreds of thousands of different compounds. He has like a lab, and it's got like reference samples for hundreds of thousands of components found in essential oils.
So he can tell if it's been buffed up.
Yeah, to like the.
I saw a documentary about how for like a decade the world industry knew that China was cutting honey, like that their honey wasn't pure, but that every lab in the world worked on it for all these years, couldn't figure out what they were doing. And then they finally figured it out, and it was like some derivative of rice, obviously, that they had figured out a way to basically, like Red Pill saying, cut the honey, even if it's just a small percentage. But that was hugely profitable.
Like corn
China
syrup,
basically,
right?
Controls most of the honey world honey business. So, now they're caught, and they have a way to detect if it has this cut in it, but it was like a rice derivative that they
and then there's reverse situations where it could be a savior of like ecology and agriculture, where a lot of these like certain trees that have essential oils, number one is like sandalwood. In every place that you get sandalwood from, they have to keep that environment the way it is in order for the sandalwood to come out right. And a lot of it is wasted, and you have to wait like 30 to 50 years for the trees to come down. And sometimes that 30 to 50 years is for nothing. And the ground is basically just dedicated for that one purpose. And, environmentally, a lot of people aren't cool with that. So there's a lot of effort for people that do want to find synthetic ways to derive xanthanol, which is alpha and beta xanthanol, which is the compounds that you get in sandalwood oils or sandalwood incense. So if that ever were to happen, I have another solution where it could happen with cannabis. And a lot of people say that, like if they get woody scented strains, if it's piney, cedar, or sandalwood, only maybe for some people those are preferred. And, a lot of people like fruity or fuely stuff these days, which is kind of a shame, because if it was found that something that has a sandalwood type profile, if the reason it has sandalwood profile is because it has those components in it, the alpha and beta xanthanol. And if it had those in higher consistencies or abundance, than the actual sandalwood tree itself, that would mean instead of having to dedicate all that land and time for sandalwood oil, you could just get it from cannabis instead. And that would, you'd be like a environmental hero for doing that.
I'm just going to chime in real quick about nothing. I'm going to be here in the background doing some shit. I got a fucking whole weekend. I got to pack and straighten up for the hash bash. Be gone for a few days. I got to get shit lined up. I'm
all
here.
Right, pack it up.
I'm here. Guys. No. You guys.
No, I mean, well, you got to pack it up.
I got to pack it up. I got to pack it up. You guys have fun. Later.
Big fat joint to smoke.
I smoked that joint, man. It took forever. I told myself, man, I'm just gonna fucking smoke a joint and then I'm gonna fucking do that work. And that fucking took like 2 hours.
No, man, if they could recreate the essential oil the way it was made or naturally without using chemicals, and they're trying to, make it so it's the same, then that would be all right.
It's that's like the best thing that could happen, because I've had that myself before. Plenty of strains that have a sandalwood type profile. Never got it analyzed to see if the reason why was because it had the same components as sandalwood oil. But yeah, that would fix a big problem. with not having to do it synthetically and not having to ruin environments just for having perfume and incense and whatever the hell else.
It's cutting it with chemicals. If they could cut it with something that's the same, like you know what I mean, like phytocannabinoids and endocannabinoids, they're different, but they're the same. Like that, if they can make it differently, but through a different process, but they end up at the same time. A bit like they come up with THC through sugars there. You know, they get the CBGA through yeast and stuff like that, but they get there, and then they can make the cannabinoids, but they're not making terpenes or nothing there. That's just THC, right? So
They will.
eventually
they
they'll be
even
able
have to
to
do that
potentially get there. I don't know.
through
It'd be
like a
nice.
yeast pathway.
Because something synthesizes the terpenes, right? So if they could do the THC, they could do all the cannabinoids potentially, eventually. That'd be nice. Synthesize
Well,
the way cannabis does, right?
well, right now the thing where that's like where most of the ground is being broken, unfortunately, is like looked at as bath salts or whatever fake THC weed is. And the way the government handles that, they just say, well, if it acts on CB1 receptors, it's illegal, no matter how you change the molecule or do whatever to it. And in
Really?
that, yeah, that's the newest up-to-date laws. And like, instead of them waiting for a new chemist to change a molecule one at a time, yeah, they just say anything that acts on the CB1 receptor.
How was it that spice and all those type of things got like labeled in societies like synthetic cannabis? Like, even I saw some story recently. It was like of somebody being caught using that stuff or whatever.
Yeah, prohibition. Places where
Synthetic
you can't do it, where
cannabinoids?
you're going to get
They
piss
called
tested, or if you're, if you got
They said-
parole, probation, or if you're on a job, or if you're in sports. That's the number one
Yeah,
consumer of all that
but
fake shit.
like is there anything similar like other than you smoke it, or like why is it considered synthetic cannabis like by the media? Those
It's
type of
synthetic. It's the one they made so everyone could test it there. That synthetic THC, but it's just THC. They created THC that's a laboratory version of it there, and everyone can use it to test and stuff like that. But it's not THC from the plant.
Well,
It's
no, but
THC from the
spice
lab.
isn't even anything.
They're growing
to
it
do
on
with
yeast and
THC.
stuff now, right?
No, exactly. So those versions of synthetics, they exist too. I've heard like people came in chat CFC, they're talking about all sorts of different things, and that's what he was talking about there. Oh, I got this synthetic cannabinoid, and they had this weird, digit number name for it there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was some kind of cannabinoid made in a lab there, and they were pills basically. And it's like, actually, this guy came in yesterday. Oh, 1906 pills there. It's like, what the hell? What's that? You're not in the right place, bro.
Well,
We
there's
grow
always
weed.
been a sector of chemistry that tries to stay one step in front of the laws, like by changing the
Yeah,
molecule slightly, and like even MDMA and all that went through that, like
but making
until they finally
CB1 the
made a
target doesn't
law
make
that
sense, man. That's like
was
that's
all encompassing.
Any compound that acts on a CB1 receptor, well, other than it being like a phytocannabinoid, which is up for debate now, that opens a whole new discussion if we're going to talk about them descheduling or rescheduling that, THC as in from a plant. But yeah, if you're going to try to go over the law by changing THC synthetically, the molecule, no, you can't do that no more.
There used to be a time that the way the
Yes.
laws were written had gray area.
Right.
but
Especially for
CB1 connector is part
cannabinoids,
of your
because
body, right? And they're
that's the
saying,
thing.
look,
They would do it if they knew exactly what receptor LSD was working on and what receptor MDMA was working on. If they knew those things, because
I think they do, don't they?
No, it's not the same as like with the
They're not the same
dedicated
ones, but
receptor.
they know that they,
Well,
they exist.
but in the way that they know that there's a dedicated receptor that acts on THC, that's how they can limit that. The MDMA and that is more like endorphins and serotonin.
Is it just THC though that acts on the CB1? Because there's the endocannabinoids, right? Like anandamide and all that there. But
Anandamide is a rearrangement of THC. They have the exact molecular weight and chemical formula. So that's why
just
they're like
those two
one for
basically are
one.
in there, and that's it. CBD
I
connects
don't
too,
know.
right?
I
It
think
neutralizes.
yeah, no one cares if what you do with CBD. So I mean, you can make compounds that might be more useful for medicine because
Oh, I
there's
know what you
no
mean. Molecular, they're going to look at this
yeah,
at the look of it and say, "Hey, man, it's
but
got a little bend, so it's a little different. So this isn't THC. We're legal, but it binds to
like
CB1. It acts
there
like
could
THC."
be
I know what you mean.
something like a while ago. I don't know how easy it is to find this research. There was a long time ago. There was a diet pill that came out, and they had to take it off the shelves really fast because it was literally making people kill themselves in like really crazy ways. And the way that the diet pill functioned, it was basically a synthetic THCV that turned off your CB1 receptor. So much so that even your natural anandamide wasn't doing anything to it. And that's when people figured out, like, oh yeah, your CB1 and your anandamide and endocannabinoid system has like responsibilities and making you happy and keeping a stable mood and all this and
Yeah,
that. So yeah, if
part of
someone
your immune
had the
system, man.
idea of turning THCV because they know it's a antagonist of the CB1 receptor. If you make that basically on steroids, synthetic version of it, or 100 times more potent than normal THCV, it's basically like Narcan. Like Narcan is, the reverse of an opiate overdose. This is what this is. It's the reverse of a THC overdose. It'll just turn off the CB1 receptor. So
A big
THC and
dab of
anandamide don't do anything.
a big dab of that stuff, and you're toast.
Yeah, you'll die. You'll kill yourself, jump out of a plane or building, or just gouge your eyes out, or I don't know.
It's crazy. Because the circadian rhythms are included in there. You could just, everything will just shut off.
Yeah.
You have to think about beating your heart and
But you will lose weight.
breathing. And it's like it just happens, right? But maybe not anymore. Right? Scary thought.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with the natural stuff, man. Because even I even saw stuff about like heroin and stuff like that. They're the synthetic opioids versus the natural opioids. There's a big difference. Like even though they're both bad for you, they're a lot healthier if they come from the
If you
plant
listen
than from the
to
lab.
Hamilton Morris, he says that the guy that invented fentanyl was just trying to help heroin addicts. He's like, why should they have to pay so much and break into people's houses and steal their TVs? Shouldn't there just be something cheaper for them to buy?
Oh man, the price wasn't the problem, man. Talk about looking at it wrong, eh?
Yeah.
It causes crime because it's too expensive. No, man, it's because they're addicted.
Well, I have a friend that's probably now 30 years works in rehabilitation industry. And a couple of years ago, he was talking to me and explaining that at this point, people that are strung out on like whether it's fentanyl or Vicodin, pharmaceutical opiates compared to like people that are just heroin addicts, the whole rehab's a whole different thing. Like, people on the heroin basically after a few weeks their body starts to come around and they start recuperating. Where people on the pills, oh no, it's like ingrained in them deeper, and it takes much longer for that to start happening. Like a lot harder to get off the pills than it is off of the plant medicine, I guess
it's prescribed. That's the worst part.
Yeah, they got it dialed in. Like most likely, they worked on that over the decades in the design of it.
It's no mistake. That's what people think. You hear the opioid epidemic. It's not about needles in the street there. It's about pills in the pharmacy. That's the opioid epidemic. It's, what the doctor's prescribing to the people that are having a bad day. So
I don't
deal
know.
with it.
Someone's in control because I don't hear about the crack epidemic anymore.
Exactly. They just switched.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
whoever was
And
feeding in,
even the tweak epidemic is kind of at a low.
phasing out. Yeah.
Well, it's
But
not
they
that
don't like
those
weed.
things. Like I believe. History keeps repeating itself, especially because we really have done nothing to change the course of history. So these epidemics, they run in like 30, 40 year cycle. Like there'll be some new thing 40 years from now where the pharmaceutical industry will say, like naively say to the public, yeah, we didn't think it was addictive. Even though that they were messing with like a derivative of an opiate that, like, for 1,000 years, the history of what it's done to humanity is like repeated, right?
They keep doing that. It's like, oh, sorry, by the way, this that we've been feeding you for 30 years is killing everybody. And sorry, stop using
I mean,
it.
the first time that like amphetamine was an issue, it was a pharmaceutical issue because like in my mom's era, when I was a kid, anybody, it wasn't women and men or men, anybody could go to the doctor and say they wanted to lose a little weight and they'd give you basically amphetamine. Like for decades, they did that out of the 50s into the 60s. And then they don't do that anymore, but like the pharmaceutical industry's hand's been caught in the cookie jar a few times.
I say, don't even go to the doctor, man. After this COVID shit, there's no health care. There's no health or care in America's healthcare system.
No.
Just don't even go to the doctor, man. Go Google it and fix yourself. You're better off.
Exactly. I agree. And I got free healthcare, bro.
Oh, yeah, well, you're in Canada.
The
I don't
free
know
there
what's going on in Canada.
doesn't entice me one bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they tried paying people to get the vaccine. That's partly why I was like, man, it obviously is something going on. If they're trying to push that shit so fucking hard and it doesn't even work, what the fuck is going on?
Just to control people. That's all it is. It's just a way to gauge and measure how well they control people.
People are stupid, dude. They didn't even question it. I'd like Googled it. I'd like looked, and I was like, dude, whatever. Don't get me started. Like I said, it's totally a bogus fucking, totally bogus. And yeah.
Digital ID, man. That's what they want. Digital ID. They tried it for the passport there. Oh, did you get vaccinated? Do you have your passport card?
Right. It is very funny that
let me pull my pants down and turn around and show you.
There's supposed to be this like unofficial union of Canada and the United States and Mexico. We're all supposed to get these IDs that are now our passports to go between all three countries.
Oh,
and
trans-Canada.
Yeah, that's right when COVID.
Yeah, narrow. I saw the bill and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to do it.
Yeah, instead we had COVID, and that's effectively the same thing.
Yeah, well, like
unifying. Right?
Oops, I said bad words. The
people in
damn no monetization. Sorry, Eagle.
You don't even try. Australia, they're really pushing this shit. Yeah, they had people had to check in on their phone so they could geotag where they were if they were in their house or not. But my argument is, I don't have a phone. I don't have a smartphone. I have an iPad, and sometimes I do leave the house with it, but usually I just fucking won't even take it with me. They can't track you if you don't have a fucking device on you that they can track you with. So keep that old fucking car, get yourself an old motorcycle.
Yeah.
And stay, and they won't be able to get you. That's dude, it's happening. The dollar is going to collapse. Like, your kids are not going to have the same world that we live in.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100%. Maybe
one
or two
generations
from now.
Like, it should have happened a long time ago, but they just keep pushing the Just keep
Well,
pushing
this
that
was a real
that
test.
goalpost farther away.
Yeah,
Keep
but
pushing
I
it, man.
saw,
You can push
I
it for
saw,
500 years. I don't give a
I
shit. Keep
saw
doing
a
it.
thing that pointed out that at this point, algorithms are so advanced that the things you're doing to avoid them,
Right. They
they're
They're
already know.
suspicious.
you're already like that thing tried to say the best way is to blend in with the other 8 billion people, right? And if you do things that are like anything like out of the box, oh, that's going to trigger more attention to you than just blending in.
I'm gonna start
Now-
doing that, but literally, and I'm gonna walk outside with like a sheep costume on from now on.
Because even
Green Fingers
remember
had it
when
right with his tinfoil
Zuckerberg
hat there.
testified in front of Congress, he basically said that, oh no, we keep track of every IP as a security risk. So even if you aren't a user of Facebook, they're still collecting data on you as like a security risk.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they said, basically, which was like
Yeah.
a ridiculous premise. Like if you don't use them and if you delete their app from your phone, then they shouldn't be able to have any data collection. Oh no, they still collect data.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because like,
it's worse than you
and
think.
that was like, how many years ago did they say that? Who knows what they're doing now?
Oh, they get
Even
everything.
All those smart
really.
home devices there was a lawsuit or whatever there where they were caught there. It's like, yeah, everything was
Roomba.
being streamed.
Roomba.
Audio conversations, everything. Yeah.
The fucking Roomba.
Exactly.
They recorded everything. And then people found pictures of the house on the internet. So I'm like, well, this picture come from? And then they're like, oh, that's shit. That's from my Roomba.
And then they blame the Russians. It's all hacked by the Russians. Bullshit.
Yeah, dude. The NSA is listening to what we're saying. They might not be listening right now, but they're recording it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
That's what Pfizer was all
whatever
about. man.
any other country's up to, it's in response to what we've been up to.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
What they
like-
learned from us.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's not like we're not playing the game as hard as we can at the most advanced level. So, like, even that thing with Russia having bots or whatever, well, they like, what, you don't think we're doing that same shit back?
Exactly. Not to point fingers, but the biggest internet people of that type is Mossad in Israel. Those are the most disinformation. That's where all that comes from. Not to point
The
fingers.
hackers or whatever.
Israel's blowing up, man. They're really having a war right now.
Yeah, it's big business there.
Civil war.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
It seems like every single world leader wants to be a dictator all of a sudden.
Well, they've always been.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe not that big of a thing.
Isn't that
but
an 80s song?
I thought it was interesting that in France they're having massive protests over them just raising the
2
retirement
years.
by 2 years. Like
Breaking the whole country over it.
Like I imagine if they slid that in here, there wouldn't be much. Like, yeah, people would bitch a little bit for a week or two, but I don't think people would do much.
I wonder if it's different because, like, we don't have to work if we don't want to. Like, will they not get any of their money if they don't work until 64? It might be different. You know what I mean, buddy?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it
But
all
they're
works
wrecking
over
the
there.
whole fucking country over there over this shit.
Well, I guess it is 2 years of your life they're taking away, making you work again, right?
Yeah, well,
but let's face it, majority of people aren't in that financial situation where they won't be working, right?
Yeah, they'll be working
Likelihood.
anyway, even if they weren't forced.
Probably.
To, but you know what? Forcing anything.
It's like the lotto, though. A few months ago, I got my Social Security, whatever thing that pointed out, like, and that's still a few years. I'm only just turning 60, but it basically was a scale that said if you take money at age 63 or 4, you only get this amount. If you wait till each year, you got more money if you waited, right? So it's like, oh, if you start taking it early, you're only getting a little. But if you wait till, so you're basically gambling because they're also saying, yeah, this is a good statistically works
Yeah.
because like half these people are going to die and we're going to keep all their money.
Yep,
It's ridiculous.
yep.
Don't you think you should be grandfathered in? No pun intended.
That's true. It's
But they
That's a
definitely
scam,
have
man.
a math problem when it comes to this stuff. Like, so, you know, it all
The whole idea
sounded
about
good in
estate tax, man.
1940 something.
Yeah.
When and maybe it would have all worked if you just like left the money there and let it accrue interest. But that's not what they did. They spent it.
They used it. Yeah.
It's like the insurance company that when it's finally time to pay it off, like, oh, we don't have it.
Whoops.
We'll just go under. We're good. Right.
Well, I mean, I saw a thing where Compound Chris, you know, the breeder, there's a story that he's suing Node. That's like who fired whatever. They're falling out at a big level. But in the story, it's like he's not suing over what you think. He's suing over discrimination over his Parkinson's disease and that they didn't accommodate him, right? And that actually they fired him because of that, which is like, oh, you want to go after a company where it hurts the most?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where it hurts the most. Like that's where the punitive damages could be like massive if it's a discrimination case. Where if you just went over the contract and the business, that probably would have been, they might have just settled and paid that off. You know what I'm saying? So that's a sign, because like he's publicly stated, oh, no hard feelings. Oh no, the article I read, there must be some hard feelings, because that's a pretty big claim you're making against them.
I'm sure they both have good lawyers. It'll be a battle of the lawyers. Lots of hundreds of thousands of dollars wasted.
Well, probably millions really at that point, right?
There you go. Drag it on.
Because even if there's like a ruling at an early stage, oh, they'll appeal it, go on forever. And ultimately, it's like when you get in a battle like that, from what I understand, well, unless you got enough money to see it through, don't even start. And if you're up against a company that has staff lawyers and endless money, don't even start, because their tactic will be just to make you spend all the money till you can't spend no more, and they win.
Now you get a no-name lawyer that wants some fame, do it for you on the arm, so you can get his name in the papers. That's what you got to do if you want to do some shit like that.
Got to be real famous. But that's the thing. The more famous he is, the more pricey he is, and the quicker they get their job done. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, nobody will try and sue. A lot of them won't sue won't sue certain things because they'll know they'll lose.
Oh,
Not
if
because
they
they
got him.
can't. Yeah, you get a no-name lawyer that wants to, like, he could sue. Like, let's say someone sues the guy that's indicting Trump. You know.
Yeah.
No name would all of a sudden would have a name if you get it to go, to court or whatever.
Oh yeah. You make a
Bullshit
name
like
for
that.
himself.
Yeah, make a name, exactly.
I fell asleep and didn't hear the end of the argument, but the other night I listened to about 2 hours of our Supreme Court, right? Our Supreme Court of the United States, a case where Jack Daniels is suing this company that makes like a fluffy toy for a dog, like a dog toy, like a stuffed animal thing that kind of looks like a bottle of Jack Daniels, right? But I thought this was some serious legal debate these lawyers were having at the Supreme Court. And I was listening to it thinking, how ridiculous is this, that like the most important court in the country is spending hours deciding whether this company like infringed upon Jack Daniels. And when they show the doll, it does no, like even the little sayings, they made them like they're not, they didn't copy what Jack Daniels says on their bottle. They made it like more dog. It's like a dog toy. Okay. It's a fucking dog toy. Right. But I thought the power of that company that's like so pissed off at a dog toy that it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And our justices were like, I couldn't tell who was winning that argument. Like if you ever listen to Supreme Court arguments, oh, they get pretty, there's some pretty good lawyering going down. You know, like whoever you hire to speak.
I think those the cereal companies, like some big wigs are getting, you know, all lawyered up because they lost the right on being designated a healthy product by the FDA or something like that, right? So now they're getting all like the freedom of speech from the company or something is being infringed upon. Some weird fucking lawyered up gimmick of a defense anyways, like some kind of freedom of speech from a company. It can't be, you know, like somehow lost a healthy status and they're fighting that shit.
Yeah.
And you gotta admit, like most of those cereals aren't healthy. Like they're just fucking weird shit and sugar.
Well, you think they'd argue the argument they had, right? It's like, oh, well, you got poison in your food. It's like, yeah, but we have the right to sell, you know, anything. Like we have freedom, right?
Well, even
that's
like
kind of what they're doing, right? It's like, yeah, but what about the poison?
Of those cereals could literally use on their label natural, because like that word has become like, yeah, they made it that it means anything. It like that's my fear with organic, because that's sort of what's happening with organic. Like once the lawyers
organic
start
means something.
talking-
Usually they add like a Z or organics. They add an S to it, you know, where it's not organic.
Exactly.
It's organics. Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. I guess
another. You can add that to the board. That's another ghetto thing.
Because
organics with a Z.
If we were to back this up in what we would really call what's being considered organic food, it would be natural food. But like 50 years ago, they grabbed that word natural and like made it into like it means nothing.
Well, unprocessed natural, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference. You can have natural elements that are processed into this thing.
Yeah, sugarcane
pumped
plants
out a
are
machine.
natural and organic, and then they turn it into processed sugar.
Yeah, so
yeah, the
not
weird
all of it's
ingredient, like
bad.
natural flavor. Like what the fuck is that? Like is that like a catch-all phrase? Like what is that?
I heard
ingredient?
by like the laws
Natural
here, like that
flavor.
means that really only like 10%. If you write that on the label, that means that only 10% is truly natural.
A bit like the, you know, you're allowed 3%, you know, bug feces in your in your steak sauce or whatever. You know, it's like, nah, it should be 0. You know?
Or
No
or like
amount
10% wood
is
chips and
allowed.
like Parmesan cheese, right? Like all that grated cheese shit. Like that
That's
Kraft
one
stuff is like
piece in a-
10% wood, man.
1 piece in 1,000 gallons. I don't want that gallon. Or whatever. No thanks.
Well, ultimately, what creates all that is lawyers. Like over our history, like lawyers. Like even like why you can't go and have fun at a music concert anymore, or a sporting event, or
Yeah, everyone
almost
got sued to death.
is lawyers. Yeah, it's one side or the other side, and ultimately who loses is people. And who pays for it all? People. And cannabis, yeah, lawyers are entering the world of cannabis. Like I saw a thing that was like a pie scale that like was a prediction of like what things are going to grow over the next whatever years. And lawyers is like going to just keep growing, because that's how it goes.
Terms and conditions, right? You click here and accept, you know, all these things that you're never going to read.
Eventually you're going to find like class actions that are going to go after a brand and test their stuff and say, oh, it's not what you say it is, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And like just like when I was had a business, food, fruit business, you had to have liability insurance in case something you sold somebody got them sick and all that. I assume if you're selling cannabis, you need some form of liability insurance, which I'm not sure even with the laws if they have such a thing.
It's not that your product did anything wrong, but it could even be a fraudulent claim. You still need the coverage. You got to defend yourself.
That's another thing. Like in cannabis, if you try to do your best, you're like, hey, I am going to go the organic route, but you live in a place where there is really regulated testing. If you use kelp meal, which you think is all right because it's just kelp meal, it's not processed or a kelp extract or anything, you're going to maybe not pass heavy metal testing. But all you did was just use kelp meal and be organic, natural. Which I'm in favor
assume
of. Fuck those
in some of the states that are, years into this, there's probably already litigation going on at some level where there's, basically customers suing brands over products.
I don't like the high.
Well, I mean, even vape cartridges that made all these claims, and then somebody has it tested out and comes back with a lawsuit.
Oh yeah, there's some fucked up shit about that. Like lab rats were their face was getting fucking dissolved by the product that was getting allowed to put in these vape cartridges. Some a phenol or phenol or some kind of weird fucking additive. Up here in Canada, they disallowed it though. It's banned now. It's a banned product, but they still
glycol, but not that. There's something.
Or organols, plastids, phenols, and terpenes are inside the trichome. Well, you're getting them in cannabis. They're present.
Well, they're both toxic, right? Like the compounds that make terpenes are toxic, but when they are in the cannabis plant, they aren't, right? But each a phenol,
it's
that's
something
deadly
that I
to
try
cats,
to describe in the case of cannabis. We're really lucky because cannabis, for the most part, makes a lot of mono and sesquiterpenes, maybe a lot of alcohol terpenes too. It's the minor components are the aldehydes, the esters, the ketones, and other groups of compounds. And those are the ones in higher concentrations. Like bitter almond oil is a 99% benzene. And benzene, is a really caustic chemical that even in small quantities does fucked up shit to you. But it's literally the main constituent of bitter almond seed oil. So it's just straight up poison. And we
Isn't
don't
that on
have
the pack of cigarettes, sir? That's part of the smoke.
Yeah, benzene. Sure, yeah. And then so that's we don't have to worry about that in cannabis because it's just not there. It's not present. All the things that could be harmful in cannabis, for the most part, are in really low concentrations. So the most ones that to me are just what I would call abrasive or irritating are the monoterpenes. And those are what flash off first. Say if you get a bag of weed or a jar of weed and that smell that smacks you in the face, opposed to what you get when you crack open a nug, those are monoterpenes. Those are the most volatile.
Limonene,
Yeah,
right? Limonene,
limonene is one.
pinene.
Pinene's one.
Actually, you wash floors, you strip wax with pinene, right?
Yeah,
but that's a lot of what they're trying to capture in fresh, frozen, and
right.
And
ironically, but if we were in the case of a plant that we had, say the bitter almonds, it'd be impossible to dab or ingest any of it. It would just straight up kill you immediately. So we're just basically lucky that cannabis chooses to make mostly non-harmful components in its essential oil.
Almost like it's looking out for.
Well, I've said this before, but it is something that informed me a lot. And it was just by chance because it was so hot at my booth at this High Times Cup. I went inside where it was air conditioned for what they called panels. They used to have speakers. And this guy, he's still around, Ken from Trichrome. He had this was in 2013, so it's 10 years ago.
Yes.
A PowerPoint, a presentation. It was well done. the gist of a lot of what he was saying was, even then, when we were still probably at 3,000-4,000 a pound, he was like saying, if and when weed is only worth $50 a pound, which, like, well, we're not far from there. It's going to be better. The gist of what he was saying is it's going to be a better plant, a crop for terpene extraction, essential oil extraction. One, what he was main point is that, like, people that farm rosemary and other essential things, they grow a certain plant that produces this. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you're going to get off of rosemary is that. Cannabis is this unique plant in all the plant kingdom. Oh, there's a few that have a few different terpenes, like mint. Oh, there's different
mint is the
varieties of mint.
closest thing. Yeah.
Right, but not many others. But and we've proven out his theory, because 10 years ago we didn't even have a thousandth of the amount of flavors and strains and expressions and cannabinoids and CBD, this and that. But some of those, and even what we're
that
talking about,
presentation that he was given was basically a pre-dessert strain phase. I mean, there was cookies, but there wasn't as many gelatos, biscottis.
He was basically saying that the plant and the farming of it's going to be more valuable for 100% like terpene extraction separation. That he even then was and I smelt when he had like certain vials of 100% pure refined terpenes of a few different ones, and you couldn't even get that close to your nose, right? It was like the type of stuff that was like pepper spray. It was so volatile that and I remember then realizing that like most things that we like, even coffee, if you go to the purest form of coffee, oh, it's so bitter and tastes like shit, right? Most of the things humans like is like a what do you call it?
Diluted.
It's
diluted,
yeah.
Right?
A
Like a diluted thing. Even part of this rosin and our hash thing is, oh, we're taking cannabis and like actually going the other way and concentrating it to points where I think maybe one of the first health things that might come out is certain combinations of these volatile terpenes and stuff being vaped in hash form aren't good for you. Like, oh, a little of that is good. Your body needs a little of that, but there's like thresholds, and that some of the things that we might be consuming.
But to your point, cannabis is definitely a source for a lot of terpenes. You know what I mean? Not just one or two, or they don't have to grow all these plants. They can grow a few strains and get all the terpenes. You know what I mean?
That's
There's
it.
a lot of them.
And even ones that we first couldn't even imagine, all of a sudden now we have that flavored almost to a T. It's like,
isolate each one and separate them and extract them all together potentially.
So like in a plant, we can almost create A to Z of the whole human flavor profile. I mean, there's a few, and some of them are only hints of that, but like we have the candies and the fruits and the earth and the oils and the gases and shit. It's the most complex thing there is, and it only gets more complex.
Dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you mentioned aromatherapy, but basically the AMA, American Medical Association, going way back, they're a historic journal, and that's what kind of does influence what's taught and what doctors, at least in modern or Western medicine, believe in. They've been staunchly pretty much against aromatherapy from like the snake oil days.
Yeah, natural medicine, anything natural was like shunned.
Right. So to this day, that's one of the reasons that even if there's a white paper, which there is, that shows the entourage effect, and it has to do with aromatherapy in its core, right? Different terpene profiles have different effects. That's going to be hard for them to like say, yeah, we agree with that science, because long held thing with them is they don't believe in any aromatherapy at all. They're like anything to do with that.
And if you're a doctor, you don't question all that. You know, the AMA, they were like God. You question what they say, and you lose your license. You're
Well,
not a
by the
doctor no
time
more.
you get 8 years of schooling, they pretty much taught you what you're going to know. That,
You're gonna
like,
risk 100 grand of debt. Yeah.
Well, you
It'll
don't
get paid
question.
if you get the job, but if you don't
I
get the
mean, some
job,
doctors do. There's some outside the box, but for the most part, you go off the program if you're an MD, right?
yeah, it just makes sense to me anyway.
They teach you that, like that, you know, like, yeah, you're dealing with people's health and shit. I mean, to this day, I still think anybody that's a doctor that tries to help people, even though they might have terrible tools at their disposal, the pharmaceutical industry and all that, are still like heroic people. And
Oh yeah, they you know, for the most part, they believe what they're doing is right. You know what I mean? Why would they be lied to? You know, it's a matter of faith, really. When you think about it, it just seems like it would be common sense. Like, well, of course, you know, doctors are, you know, instructed to do good. Are they? When you look at it, you know, and the way they outlawed natural medicine and all that, I don't know. Then you see that it was all started by oil, right?
Yeah.
Rockefeller there, way back.
They're basically tied into the system, and it's
exactly.
and them once. Yeah, you went through school, you did all, they programmed you, like even the way you go through school, it's like, yeah, they really put you through the ringer to get to the other side. But once you do the other side, you're indoctrinated. You're there's
You're
no
not
way
gonna
to,
risk
like,
that 10 years. You just went through hell, you know what I mean? But
exactly.
just to quit, like, no. You're gonna go along with the flow, and you're gonna do your job, and you're gonna make money. And
you have to try to make money, and then the options are, I mean, even in my lifetime, it seems like most doctors are basically run clinics at this point. Where when I was younger, doctors were like, had this prestigious thing going on. Now, most of them, I guess there's a few that are in that prestigious level, but most of them, it's just like any other 9 to 5, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's like I'm from Canada, so it's not the same at all.
Well, but there, there's like here, we still have a profit margin, capitalistic doctors. So like ones that want to thrive, oh, you can get into plastic surgery, you can get into lucrative things, or you could serve your people, whatever. But there with it, it's like doctors get paid a flat rate no matter what, right?
Pretty much. It's based on the province, right? So they'll move around the country, and they'll all flock to one certain province because they'll get a much better wage there, or that kind of problem.
Well, some of like the fear that I think we use here, why we are afraid of that system, is then that will like take away the ambition for doctors to thrive.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But it's
got to be good pay, but at the same time,
I heard in Europe they do a thing where doctors get paid more from like a rating of how healthy their clients are. So like if a year later your clients have lost X amount of weight, have less things going on, then you can get paid more. And I thought, well, that would be a good way to incentivize them. Like the healthier you're,
they fuck those numbers up all the time. Like, oh yeah, you lost 8 pounds. Awesome, dude. Keep it up. Oh, you lost 34 pounds.
Yeah.
Awesome. It'd be the skinniest nation ever.
The whole medical thing.
The whole thing's fucking corrupt.
I mean, but it has to be a relief because most Americans live in a thing where like we can literally be bankrupt by a broken leg or something, right? That you guys ultimately have like a, what do you call it? Like a social.
Oh yeah, it's covered. Bro, I broke my back when I was 21. You can imagine the bill that would have, you know, I didn't get a.
Yeah,
it
so
cost
like
me a red cent.
Even if you had car insurance, like it's like, oh no, they have a way to, they can take you down and by no fault of your own or anything. And there's no safety
Shit
net.
happens, you know what I mean? So that kind
even if you have insurance, oh no, that's not even, unless you had the really good insurance, you're probably still fucked.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's bad enough you got your legs broken or whatever, and you're in a cast for 3 months, but you get a $5,000 bill or $20,000 bill on top of that. You didn't work for 3 months or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're not helping there. That's not helping anybody. You know what I mean?
Well, and like we were
So in
talking about
that
a little
sense,
bit,
it makes
but like
sense. But people take risks, right? Like I
you
drive a
go
bike.
through like a
That's
real traumatic medical procedure like that, all that happens to you, and you also were spit out an opiate addict without any choice of your own, because like when you were like really hurting and they decided to sedate you for days and laid in the hospital bed, you weren't even given a choice. Yeah, we're going to give you all this stuff, and this is probably what's going to happen to you. You just end up like dealing with that.
I got
right?
lucky, man. I left the hospital on aspirin, and I was there for 2 months. So,
Yeah, you got
gradual from
lucky.
like 100 cc morphine injections there every 3 hours to, aspirin at the end there. So I got lucky, I think, considering, but still, it's, just the thought of the bill at the end of that is a little
How did you
scary.
break your back, man? Was it
Uh,
an accident?
Yeah, my motorcycle.
Shit.
I missed a
I was gonna say,
corner.
is that a rustling? One of those.
Yeah, definitely the Iron Horse.
And
Drop
I,
kick from the
because
top rope.
I'm just telling you things I hear over time. But then when that happened to you, it wasn't like you had to wait and you didn't get to see doctors and there was some huge waiting list for months
Oh no,
to
it
get
just
an
happened.
appointment.
Like I woke up, I was there. You know what I mean? It's like everything was
But in
done
the
already.
recovery though, that it
Yeah.
wasn't like they doctors were easily accessible, right? Or
Well, see, I was there for 2 months, so they come in once a week, check out my,
you were
look at the
hospitalized for
X-rays.
2 months.
I was in the hospital, so I couldn't, it was easy access for them, I guess. They're already there, right? But after when I left for fit, I had to go back for checkups and do physio and all that, right? So that, was a little, but I
There's
mean,
there's still
covered.
quite the wait in lineup, right? Like to see a specialist, you gotta get referred from your doctor. So
Yeah.
you gotta make an appointment with your doctor, go see the specialist. From there, make an appointment. It's like my brother's going
A
through
chain of
braces.
command there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They'll
it's
hand
like
you
a
off.
3 months to see like someone really knowing they're top of line expert around here.
Yeah, I had to wear a brace, so I had to pay for that. You know what I mean? That's a special. It's like $1,800.
Not everything's covered. Like there's only certain medications that are covered, and you need a wheelchair.
So my option was they put a cast on me that would have been covered, or I wear that brace, right? Which I have to pay for.
Yeah,
it was $1,800, man. That brace.
How long do you guys wear that thing?
6 months.
Well worth it, man.
Yeah, it did its job.
Imagine fucking a whole body cast or back cast.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I had a cast on for a while there, and it's like, man,
get itchy,
smelly.
smelly.
Well, if you ever had a cast on your arm, man, I had the whole chest. You know what I mean? The whole lower body there, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, itchy. Trying to eat burgers there, and onions are falling down, and the cast is like, shit.
So you just got a couple.
Someone get the hose.
Couple screws in your back, or you're like 100% recovered, or what, dude?
Yeah, man. Like I walked out of there on aspirin. I got steel rods in my back. I still got them to this day. Right. And yeah, man. Knock on wood.
Pain free.
Yeah.
Pain free.
I did biking after that. I did skidooing, all sorts of shit, man. I lived a good life, man. That was at 21 that happened. I'm 52, man. I had 30 years. It's been longer than it was. I was alive when it happened, like 30 years almost. So yeah, man. I was just lucky. I had a good doctor. He did a good job because if you saw my back, I got X-rays. I showed a few people at CFC there. They saw it. It was pretty nasty.
Yeah, I've had the whole spinal fusion surgery too, not accident, scoliosis.
Well, that's what they put on me. They put Harrington rods, which is made for scoliosis to straighten out the spine there. The 2 rods are on each side. but mine was to keep my whatever broke. There was broken a spiral staircase, so they fused it all back together, did a bone graft, and then put that. It's in the middle of my shoulders, so it's a spot that my back doesn't bend anyways.
Right. That's what they said about mine, where it's placed. It's
right.
like
I can still touch my toes. Everything's.
It's like L5 to T8 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was T3. T3 got smashed. 4 and 5 got spiral staircased. All the ribs everywhere. So they bone graft all that, and made a big bone. So now T3 to 5 are one piece of bone now, with steel going through it. So it's pretty solid. It's not going to break there anymore.
Sounds like an improvement, anyways, man.
But man, those rods, they don't bend. Like if they do, they're not bending back. So yeah, being in an accident is a no can do. You know what I mean? Because your body can bend. You can take an impact and potentially snap in half and snap back, and you'll potentially survive. But me with my rods won't snap back. You know what I mean? That could be very painful and deadly. So yeah.
Yeah, I've thought of crazy scenarios like, "Oop, yep, that one would hurt."
Shit. Well, they tie it on with I think it's titanium.
Yeah.
Wire, right? And I saw it in the X-ray.
I think I have rods, screws, and hooks. Like hooks are supposed to link up to something too.
It looks weird, man, the way it's shaped. But it's like it's all caught up in the the spines, the little round spleens that come out of your back there. They come out the sides and out the back, right? And so these are kind of like slid inside the gaps there. You know what I mean? To keep everything in one place. And then those hooks, I think they come around to hold between those spleens there. You know what I mean? So it doesn't turn or shift or whatever.
That's
they're
where
tied
I think they're towards up the top, on the top. Nothing on the bottom of it ever really bothers me. It's what's higher up on my back.
And the neck there.
Yeah, it's like literally right in between the two shoulder blades.
Yeah, same with me. I think sorry, T3 is where it starts. Right? Your neck starts at T1.
Well, yeah, I know
like the whole
neck is
cervical.
C. Yeah, C,
and
but
then,
I don't know how many
then
of
the
them.
T is the big bone there at the top of your back, right?
Right.
So,
I don't know how
T3,
far down under the neck it starts.
Yeah, that's it. So T3 is where the rods start.
Right.
I think it's like
mine's a little bit lower than that, I think.
T9 or something where it ends or something like that.
Right.
And in the middle is where it broke.
Yeah.
So it's fairly, but that whole gap there, that whole section is not a section that bends. So it's like, man, thank God,
Yeah.
But yeah, I got lucky because some people, man, I've heard, a lot of horror stories.
Well, I was also 21 when I had that surgery too.
Was it a bike accident, right?
No, just normal scoliosis that didn't get diagnosed through a pediatrician.
Oh shit!
It was the first checkup through like switching from a pediatrician to just like a normal general doctor as an adult. And then they're like, what's wrong with your back? Why is it all knotted up? Are you in pain? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, well, I'm not a spine doctor, but I can see your spine is obviously crooked, not a place. So
I got a girl. I actually dated her because she had the rods too. It's all the way down to her back though. She had the whole back, like, was just because she had scoliosis, right? So she couldn't really turn too much. You know what I mean? She was kind of jammed. She couldn't lean down so much. She couldn't bend her back at all. It was like, oh man, that's a little different. So I guess you have the rods more in the upper back, not the lower.
It's whatever L it is. I think it's either L5.
Oh, L5 lumbar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not quite towards the tailbone or the hips, but right there, right above the hips and tailbone area.
So you can still bend down a little, right?
Yeah. The most uncomfortable position is just laying flat on my back. It's most uncomfortable. On a hard surface. I can do it on a bed or a couch or something like that, but on wood or
me too.
Pavement or
something sticks out.
Yeah, me too.
When I felt it the first time there, I freaked. I'm like, oh no.
I got that same thing right
I
at
just
the top.
slid out
Very
there and
top part.
I'm fucked. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
like, no, don't worry. It's always been there. Like, oh shit. You know, because I went reaching back there and holy shit, when I felt that there, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
That's the
first
same
time.
with me. I still don't like it. I'm even recently thinking like, man, dude, I wonder if this is right. Like, I want to get this second looked at because
No, it just doesn't feel like it should be there, right?
Yeah.
Especially like where mine is, it's right in the middle of the back. Like I can't go to a restaurant, sit back on a steel wooden chair because it's that.
Dude, we
right
have
on
to be
that
exactly the
bump
same
there. It's
spot
like,
because when I first went to restaurants, I had to put like a neck pillow. I had to bring a neck pillow with me and put it on the back of the seat, right where my back met the seat. Yeah.
Here, I know how you feel. Shit. But man, it could have been a wheelchair, and it was 20% chance of me surviving that operation there. That's what he told me when I remember, because he made me sign a paper saying, you got to sign your life away. That we're gonna put you under, and you're probably not gonna make it. But it's like, thanks, Doc.
Now, were you already
being honest, right?
anesthetized when they did that? I
You're not gonna make
it.
Well, it's 20%. We'll
Yeah.
try. It's like, fuck.
Man, I could have sworn the order of things that happened, that little paper that you signed came after the anesthetization, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I was like half out of it and like, what are you? All right, sign here. All right.
Oh, I busted my arm up pretty good there, and they cut my jacket. I didn't know. I knew I broke it, but because I broke my arm before, but it was just a crack, and nothing major. And it was a leather jacket, so I couldn't see it. But man, when they cut it open there, the bone was sticking out. It was multiple compound. There was
Holy shit.
The arm was twice the size it used to be. You know what I mean? And then I saw the bone sticking out of the skin. I'm like, oh man, that's gotta hurt. Like it just connected. And I puked right away. And then right after that, he's like, "Okay, we got to put you under because you're going to the hospital. You're going to." Yeah, they actually They had to fix my arm a little bit. Like they just casted it up, broken, and then they fixed my back. 2 weeks later, they fixed my arm. But I'll never forget that. Like I never seen that. Like, whoa.
I had my right hand set like that. I got fucking drunk up one night and fucking punched a pole and fucking broke 5 bones in my hand. And I go to it after hours there, and they're like, "It is a Labor Day weekend." Like, yeah, there's nobody here that can do nothing with this. You're gonna have to go to the hospital. So they send me out to Genesee Healthcare in Grand Blanc, Michigan, and they're like, okay, they send me with the x-rays and everything. The fucking place it's a holiday weekend and fucking people out the door. I come strolling in. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to know I'm on my way. Here's my x-ray. They're like, what the fuck are you doing with your x-rays? I'm like, I don't know. They told me to bring them. So they fucking put
Manila folder.
They put me in a fucking wheelchair, and I'm like, I can walk. They're like, oh, they'll get to you faster if you're. I'm like, whatever. So they leave me sitting in a hallway for like 45 minutes, and then they fucking they look at me and they're like, yeah, there's nobody here. Nobody
Nobody catch up, eh?
Anything with this, you're gonna have to come back.
Make it look bad.
Weeks later. I come back and they re-break my fucking hand and put all the bones back into place. To this day, if you give me 5-10 minutes, I can move my pinky knuckle. I can move it into the palm, center of my hand.
Oh man.
Oh God. Now I have when I was like 13, I was skateboarding in a 15-foot pool, and I compound fractured my wrist, but like right at the end of the bones, both bones, like to where one I can relate to, like when I looked at my arm and the bones were sticking out, I went into shock. I remember as a kid, like I remember falling, I remember a certain point, and then put me into shock. And then at the regular emergency room, they were gonna like do it with pins and all this stuff. But my mom was like I had clients as a business manager, and this one doctor that was like a orthopedic for sports teams, Dr. Friedman. He through whatever means, he didn't come to the hospital, but he was able to stop them from what they were doing, and then told them just to set it, like not set it, just to secure it. And I went to see him the next morning in this other hospital, and yeah, he's no pins. And I used to get a new cast like every 2 to 3 weeks, 2 weeks, where basically he would just change the position of my wrist. Like, oh, first it'd be like this, then like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this. And then I remember my mom battling with the insurance company because they tried to like say, oh, well, we're not paying that much, because he was like a specialist and this
That's
was like
tendons
super
and
expensive.
stuff there. Yeah.
Right.
He's trying to set tendons back. Oh shit.
And the important part was just my left hand, and I was left-handed. But yeah, to this day, I always credit that guy. Like, because like, oh, it wasn't just like a break of my wrist. It was like compound. And it only left like the ball of each of the joint broken off.
Oh, the wrist.
It was
Yeah,
it was like this really tough one. But like the way that he did it, yeah, because I'm sure if I had pins or less of a medical treatment on that, I'd probably not have. Yeah, I've never had a problem, and my left hand's still my dominant hand and all that shit.
Right on. He fixed it.
But like I never was able to drop into a 15-foot bowl again. Like I was a skater kid, and we were doing radical shit like aerials and nothing like they do today. But it was a different era. But once I felt like that, I still skated, but I never could go radical again. That was like a fear I'd never overcome.
Same with me. I gave up dirt bikes. They break bones, man. They're dangerous. Street bikes, it was a little less, I had a little more control, but there was less crazy people on the street. Now, I fear for my life, not from what I do, but everybody else. I mean, just out of nowhere, someone can come and take me
even
out.
then I skated with wrist guards, but this one thing I was trying to do over and over, I couldn't reach my board with the wrist guard. So I took off the wrist guard, and it was probably like 2-3 times I tried it with that. I almost had it, but yep. And when I fell, what really fucked me up is I didn't just fall into the bowl or whatever like normal. Somehow I landed with my feet, like the board went under me, and then like it whiplashed me back into the wall of the pool on my wrist. And yeah, it wasn't like you thought about it. Your wrist goes out to protect yourself, but there's only so much your wrist is going to be able to take. And that was like, yeah, I remember my arm was all bent and the bone sticking out. It wasn't bloody and pain. I didn't even know, but it put me in shock. I remember that. Like,
Oh, shock will kill pain. Like the way it was busted, there's no way. Like, I should have felt that. I was ready to get up and go see my bike. My back was broken and everything, but when I tried to get up, I felt something in my back, and I said, I think I'm not going to move, right? So I knew something was wrong with my arm, but there's no way it was that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel any pain whatsoever compared to what that was. You know what I mean? What it should have been. But when I saw it, though, it started hurting right away. Like, it's like the brain connected the pain with the vision, and it's like, alert, danger, do something. Yeah. And I puked. So that was the beginning of shock. Yeah. And the rest is a blur. And then I remember signing that paper, and I was out. But man, it's the wrist. There's a lot of bones in there. There's all the tendons and everything for your fingers and everything. That's a nightmare. Yeah. I was lucky. It was just the 2 bones, like 2 inches above the wrist, maybe. It just snapped right off. My arm was hanging by skin. Both bones snapped right off. So I was lucky in that sense. It's a little easier to fix. 2 plates, back to normal. Ready to rock. They're still in there. Because he gave me the option. We could take them out, but there's like, 7 screws per plate. So now your bones are Swiss cheese because they go right through the bone.
Mhm.
So now they take the plates off, they take the screws out. Your bones are Swiss cheese, so they got to cast you up for another 6 months for the bones to fill out.
That's
And
crazy.
they got to cut beside where they cut before. It's like, can't you cut on the same scar? No, we got to cut beside it. It's like, guys, you're gonna make it worse. Thanks. So I said, screw it, leave it. Can I leave them there? He's like, yeah. Like, all right, we'll leave them there. I kind of regret it, but what the hell? You smack a screw, man. Oh shit, it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fat guy, I'm a thin guy, so it's easier to smack a screw. You hit a screw head, trust me. You feel it.
I got a fucking a pin in my left shoulder and 2 hooks and the front of my shoulder holding the tendon down, and 2 hooks on my shoulder blade holding the muscle back after the surgery from a bad fucking blowing out my shoulder during a fucking construction, man. That shit fucking sucked.
Still in there now? They took it out?
No, they were there.
Oh, it's still in there. Eh? Shit.
They're still there. Yeah.
Nice. We got we're carrying a lot of hardware, eh?
Yeah, we are.
Me airports are beep beep beep. I just wait till you do my back, man. Yeah. They'll do the arms. Every bar, had a problem.
Also carry a stainless steel mesh from hip to hip.
Damn.
Yeah. No shit.
I've been lucky. I only broken my foot.
Fucking 95.
Damn.
That shit moves, man. That's one of them fucking I'm even gonna show you. Fucking that's the mesh that moves. Okay. So it hasn't moved in probably about 5 years. But there's been points in my life where it's moved into like the leg right there. And when it moves into the leg right there, it literally hamburgers that fucking muscle until it migrates back to another spot. It's most painful.
It just moves around.
Shit.
Yeah, it's straight up stainless steel mesh floating around.
God. That gives me the
That's crazy.
heebie-jeebies, man.
I swear that cable in the back there sometimes gets caught somewhere or something.
I think we found Major's weakness.
I can't prove it.
Stainless steel mesh. Damn. In the gut.
That's crazy.
Sawing against my leg.
Yeah, grill
that's
a
my
burger. That's surgical steel too. Surgical stainless, right? They better have done a good job, man. You don't want no rust. Yeah. Oh, you muted, bro.
I'm hoping I fucking saved this shit. Oh, I didn't. Oh, fucker. Yesterday I was flipping and I seen this dude fucking, he had a lump in his foot about that big, and it was about yay big. This motherfucker took like a hatchet and was like, and that thing popped and moved like fucking 3 inches towards the toe. I mean, it really jumped under the skin. Me and the other guy that was watching that was like, oh my God.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
Like
those embolisms they get there in UFC there. Sometimes they get these nice shiners, or there's like a half a pear on the side of his head there. It's like, what the fuck? Little pressure.
No, in the MMA, it's when their ears are so slow and they look like they just want to pop their whole earlobe.
Or the
cauliflower
warning or whatever they call it there.
Yeah, cauliflower ear. And some of
Cauliflower,
them have scraped their ear on the canvas for so many years. Their ears
the cartilage has been crushed. It's like no more shape anymore. It's sad when you think about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know that guy will get my respect. I will.
Yeah, you sacrifice your ear for the sport, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah. Well, on that note, I guess I'm gonna hop off there. But man, it's always great, man. Thanks for doing this. Eagle.
Well, it was inspiring to hear your story of recovery, because a lot of times those type of stories don't always, somebody usually a lot of times has like lingering
no, exactly.
pain and all this.
And I attribute all that to cannabis, right? I was smoking before it happened and way after
Canada,
too. So.
Because Canada's healthcare
He contributes it all to Canada.
On behalf of Canada, thank you all. Have a great night, guys, and we'll see you on the next one, man.
Yeah.
Have a good one, guys, baby.
Tao, Red, Major, and of course, Buddy and Eagle. Always a pleasure, guys. Have a good night.
Good night. I think I'm gonna do one more dab and roll out too. I'm glad I popped back in, and it was good seeing all you guys.
It was good hearing you, Red Bill.
Yeah.
Seeing, hearing, yeah. I'm gonna mute so you don't have to hear me torch.
Fuck me in this damn mute button, god damn it. It has, man. I'm glad you did pop on, Red Pill. Overall, everybody, you know what I mean? Thank you guys for popping on, man. It has been a great night of conversation, facts, learning. I appreciate everybody that's popped on tonight. It's not to be playing no favoritism or nothing, but Red Pill, it was really nice to see you back, my friend. So, cheers to you, my friend. Cheers.
Big dab.
I'm trying to catch up on a fuck. I'm just gonna hit this bowl. It's already packed.
Well, I have to say I enjoy the early hours, because now it's only 9 o'clock and I'm going to sign off and go do some work. Sometimes I have come on when I should be working, and then by the time I get off, I'm like, holy shit, it's too late.
Man, fucking when Sub was alive, that's where that affected all the weed nerds, buddy. When he was on, we all fucking, and he'd come on and surprise, you know what I mean? Whole random, and he'd be on for like 3 hours, and we'd all do the same thing. We'd put our fucking shit down, we'd grab our tray and go sit there. And if it was consecutive, at least for me, man, I got behind on my shit a lot of times because I was sitting around being fucking weed nerd watching Sub and shit. So I know what you're saying, my friend. And remember, put it on your book, man. Monday, 9 o'clock. Thursday, 9 o'clock. Those are the 2 episodes, early episodes.
Yeah. Put that in your daily planner. Right beside your purse.
Everyone. It was good talking with everyone. We'll see you next time around. Have a good day.
Good seeing you, bud.
Yeah.
Have a good
Peace out, buddy Lee.
And yep, thank you, Eagle, for having me again. Glad to be back. Glad everyone enjoyed me. Or at least there's one hater out there, I'm sure.
Nah.
Korkowski, yep. Guarantee.
That stuff doesn't matter.
Just because he's a Vikings fan. Just kidding. That's a deep cut. Or maybe you're paying attention. Who knows?
If you guys in Michigan or near Michigan, around Michigan, and planning to go to the bash, either Saturday, the official hash bash, or the cup, I'll probably be there later Friday night, tomorrow night, and probably most of Saturday night. Please hit me up, and I'll have It's some Chilumbium F2s to give and some Jelly Bean times Chilumbium. Yeah, so hit me up for some pre-seeds if you catch me. Cheers.
I'm still undetermined if I'm going to go there. I have some people that may or may not be going, and I don't know if I'm going with yet. So.
I'd like to catch you. I have yet to catch you, but I'm one of these times.
One of these times. All right. Good seeing you guys. Peace out, Eagle. Thank you for having me, and peace out, Tao and the Major.
What's up, Red?
What's up, Red Pill? Good seeing you, kid.
Yep. See you again soon.
Cheers.
All right, Major. I'm out here too. Good seeing you. Peace, everyone in chat, Eagle. It's always fucking awesome fucking talking shit with Eagle. We'll let you get to your packing and your workouts and fucking have an awesome weekend, dude.
I most certainly am gonna try. You too, brother.
All right, man. Peace out.
Major, you did surprise me tonight with all that pro auto.
I'm off my game, man. I must be like getting like some kind of COVID or like.
I had to check my joint. I thought I was momentarily hallucinating. The fog there doesn't help, but when you mix the crazy words that were coming out of
positivity, man, positivity.
Am I sleeping? I don't know.
It's a new me. It's a new me, man. It's positive. Just grow it. Doesn't matter how. Just do it.
I can respect that. Are you going to end it with the plan and auto?
No. I'm not gonna request anything from anyone besides the usual.
Killing auto.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say it. They already know what it is. Peace.
Later, brother. Have a good one. With that being said, thank you guys very much from the bottom of my heart, man. The more I tend to do this, the more I am grateful for being able to do this and hang out with you guys and meet all these cool people, learn this shit night after night from these great people that pop in. Very much so. So with that being said, I'm sorry for cutting it short this evening. Maybe, just maybe, if I hurry up and get some stuff done, maybe I'll fire it up, but no promises at this point. But if it happens, it happens. But if not, if this is the end of your day, your journey, please get some rest. If this is the beginning of your day, your journey, I doubt, please take time out for a little bit of self-love, a little bit of meditation along the lines of what is going to be your amazing Friday. Please take time out to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. And with that being said, you never know. I might be back. Peace.